So I made over $240,000 over the past year with my AI lead generation agency. And in this video, I'm going to go through everything that you need to know to start your agency today and land your first client or your next client within the next 3 to 7 days. I'm going to go through everything from the offer to the niche, 4 proven to work acquisition systems that we use to this day in our agency with scripts and everything, live appointment setting, live sales call, literally everything you need to know. For proof, here's our payment processors here on screen. They should be refreshing. And just so you know, I have absolutely nothing to sell you. So you're not gonna see any fancy editing here. We're gonna go straight into the sauce and we're gonna have the highest value per minute possible. So that's why I'm so confident in the value in this video that all I'm asking you is to commit to watching 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. Set a timer on your phone, 5 minutes, and I guarantee you'll see the value of this video is so high that you're going to want to keep watching. So I'm not going to ask you to watch the whole video because that would be too much to ask you. You probably don't know me, don't like me, don't trust me. But watch 5 minutes and you'll see that this video is worth your time. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. And here we go. So first of all, congrats for making it past the introduction. Here's everything that you're going to get today. We'll start with the model. So we'll first break down the different types of agencies and why you should go with an AI lead generation agency in the first place, and then what offer you should have. It's not really, it's the model more than the offer. The offer is I will present the model to, clients. So retainer, rev share, paper lead, paper appointment. You've probably heard of all of them. If you've not, don't worry. We're going to go through all of them. And I'm going to tell you not only which one you should pick if you're starting out, but also why. Because if you understand why, when things get hard, when there's challenges, because there's always going to be challenges in business, especially with an agency like this, when that happens, you're not going to question your foundation. You're going to question your model and make crazy pivots that you don't need to do. So that's why we're going to go through this first section and why you shouldn't skip this section. Second section, the offer. So we're going to go through all the niches so you can see which one you should pick. The actual offer, how are we going to present our model to these niches? The ICP, ideal client profile, who are we looking to speak to, who are we going to speak to and going to target, and the funnel. So all different pages and calendar, automations, stuff like that. Client acquisition, that's where the sauce really starts to get juicy. We have, again, the offer. So how we're going to present the offer through to our clients. Then SMS, cold email, paid ads, and content, all different acquisition systems. And I'm going to show you not only why they work, but also how to set them up. And then sales, so appointment setting, sales script, objection handling, and live sales call. And we also have a live appointment setting call right here. So that's also why this video maybe looks so long on the time lapse, on time frame, because it's actually showing that as well. So let's get started with the model. So there's a new wave of agencies, okay? And as an AI lead generation agency, you help physical businesses generate more leads, and you use AI systems to help them convert them, retain clients, and optimize all areas of the business. It's that simple. That is what an AI lead generation agency is. And that is really, or as you're going to see in a second, the difference with an SMA and a normal agency. So imagine this is you, okay? I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I know I'm on a big screen. I don't know how big yours is. Let's zoom in a little bit. Here we have you. You can provide them with as many qualified leads as you want as a lead generation agency or as an SMA. But if they have cracks in their system, in their bucket, which is sales, speed to lead, local SEO, reviews, if they don't have all of that, they will still lose some of the value that you provide. So the value you provide is not going to be maximized, okay? And that's the main difference from a standard SMA and a standard lead gen agency. An SMA only run ads on social media and manages socials. That is what a social media marketing agency is. That's what it is. While a standard lead gen agency only provides leads. For example, Angie, I don't know, that's probably the biggest example of lead gen agency that you can come up, because it then also became a marketplace. But if you look at Angie, Angie.com, okay, so now it's doing all this security stuff, but all they do is pay per lead for home service businesses, and all they do is sell leads. And let me check, Angie revenue 2025. Let's see what they made last year. So last year they made $1 billion selling leads. All they do is they sell leads, okay? So that's what a lead generation company or agency does. They just sell leads. They don't help with any of the remaining problems in their business, okay? Which is what you're going to do, because you will solve the biggest problem in the business which is a consistent flow of qualified leads, and then you will use AI systems to pretty much increase their ROI on the leads that they get. And it's pretty much guaranteed. It's not that hard. You don't need to be an AI wizard or nothing like that. It's very simple stuff. And if you do this right, because you have the AI side of things, you will become irreplaceable in any business you work with. While lead generation agencies come and go because they just, clients rotate them and want to diversify their leads, and where the providers, and okay, this guy didn't work, I'm gonna go with the other guy. You also have the AI side of things in their business, and they do not want to give that up. So they will stay with you for longer. Now that we are clear on what an AI lead generation even is, okay, retainer versus percentage versus PPL versus PPA, okay? Now, what I'm going to tell you is that there's a few different models you can pick from. And the truth is that the model you pick is arguably the most important that you will make here today, and what will make the difference between 20 to 30% margins and 50 to 70% margins. Closing your first client within 3 or 7 days and closing your first client in the first 2 months. It took us almost a month to close our first client. That's going to be the difference between scaling to $30,000 a month with 1 to 2 people, because that's what me and my business partner did. It's just us two, and we pay an editor, $100 a month or $200 a month, depending on how many editing I need done, and scaling to those numbers with 4 people. I saw this guy, okay, on Jeremy Haynes' channel. I'm just bringing it up because it's the same pretty much niche. These guys are about normal SMA. They scaled to $300,000 a month. They have 10 CMNs, them too, accountant. They have sales reps, media buyers. They have everything, and their margins are 15%. Okay, the margins are 15%, and they have 20 people in the team. Like, I don't want that. I want to scale to 30K a month, and then obviously even more with a 1 to 2 people team. I want to stay lean. Okay, so that's just a good example to show that what I'm talking about is real. These guys make $300,000 a month and have 15% margins. That's less than a 60K a month agency with 50% margins. Think about it. We can get there easy without any more people than me and my business partner, because of the model that we picked, which is what we're going to get into in a second. And another difference, you're going to see, are you going to make $30,000 per client in lifetime value or $2,000 per client in lifetime value? No, the model makes a big difference. I can show you proof. I have clients, I'm going to put it here on screen somewhere. I have clients who paid us $30,000 a month, or $30,000 already, one single client, $20,000 another one. They stay with us for over a year because of the model we picked. And you're going to see the difference between retaining clients for over a year and churning them every 30 days. It really depends on the model you pick and on the offer you make. And before you can pick your model, you need to first of all understand what the priority of an AI lead generation agency even is. And it's not running ads for your clients. It's not designing a new website with Claude. It's not integrating an AI receptionist. Like all these people, I am so tired of all these AI agencies. AI agencies. What is an AI agency? I don't know. It's so abstract as a concept. This is very actually concrete. It's very concrete. And the truth is, it's all about the leads. The keyword is leads. The keyword is leads. That was an AI generation agency even is. It's leads plus AI, because the money is in the leads. And the reason is simple. That's what makes businesses money. Every business needs leads to make money. So if you can provide qualified, high intent leads for them at a profitable price, they will just start throwing money at you. I mean, think about it. If they're profitable, it would literally be stupid for them not to buy more leads from you. And that's as long as their business can handle the work, but we'll talk about that very soon. For example, a construction business can't take unlimited jobs. They need to build a bigger crew and expand before they can do that, once they reach their capacity. A dental studio can only take a certain amount of leads before being booked out. Then, they would need to hire new people or open a new location. That is the only problem, with this. It's not scalable to the infinite when it's about physical businesses. It depends on the niche, but we'll get into that. So the first thing we learned after running the agency in the first 6 months, I think the biggest lesson in 6 months was that the money is in the leads. The money is in the leads and appointments, because they are what directly impacts revenue and have a more tangible ROI for the business. And so it's easier to close and justify the price when you give something that actually makes money. And the second thing that we only learned really after 1 year is that your client's business size dictates the amount of leads that they can actually handle, and so the amount of money that you can make from them per month. So for context, we closed over 110 clients in our agency since starting it. I think it was 15 months ago, and 15 of them actually turned out to be decent, good, profitable clients, and 5 to 6 of them actually had the capacity to spend over $10,000 a month in leads. Now we have some that spend over $20,000 a month in leads, but it just took us a year pretty much to figure out this stuff, and you now know it. So that is gonna impact who we go after, what niche you pick, and how we approach them. So, and that's really because if we had known what a good client was sooner, and that not every client is the same, it's not just a numbers game. Oh, let's close 20 clients and they all will make this much. We would have saved so much time and money that we spent on the other 80% of the clients, because really any client takes you the same amount of time to set them up, same amount of time to run the ads, same amount of time to do everything, deliver the leads, doesn't matter, same amount of time. So why not spending it on good clients instead of bad clients? What I'm saying is every bad client you bring on board actually takes the same amount of time of a good client. So it's terrible. So that said, let's get into the different models, starting with the retainer model. So what this offer is pretty much, when you have this model, you're charging a fixed 1 to 2K a month retainer per client, plus the ad spend. Ad spend, I mean, when you're starting out, small SMAs charge $900 a month in ads, connected directly to the client's ad account. You run ads from their ad account, so you need to get access to all of their stuff and stuff like that. So pretty much usually it's $30 a day to start. These small agencies, they charge $30 a day in ad spend. So if you understood the point of an AI lead gen agency, right now, you should see this and understand why this is not optimal for you. And that's because it caps the amount of money that you can make per month per client, because you can only really make 1 to 2K a month. And we don't want that, because we don't want to have 30 clients paying us $1,000 a month. We want 4 clients paying us 5-10K a month. So that's already a bad thing. The second thing, your income is not correlated to the value you provide to the business, since you get paid regardless. So you have no incentive for them to win, and the client knows that. Deep down, the client knows that, and that's the thing that really I struggle with the most. Like, if I cannot provide value to this person, or I have no incentive to provide value to this person, it's just most of the time I will cut corners. That's just what people do, cut corners, and that's what you see with all these retainer agencies that get so many disputes. And it's going to make it harder for you to close, because people see that you actually don't have to get them the results. And third, people in all industries have already been burned by retainers before. So it's definitely harder to close a deal with a retainer model than with the models I'm going to show you in a second. And you might say, but I'll give them a guarantee that they'll get at least 30 appointments in the first 30 days of working with us, or they won't pay. That's very smart. But if you go on the Meta Ads library, you will see that you actually are not that smart, because every second agency is offering that and has been doing that for the past year or so. So it's not really that good of an offer. And if you think it is, you should read again. Maybe you probably read it before if you're watching this video. Read again. $100 million offer from Alex Hormozi. So you might say, I'll make an even crazy offer and then put some clauses in the contract that make it very unlikely for them to be eligible for a refund. Okay, and what I can tell you from experience is that most business owners, first of all, are not stupid. And having them sign a contract like that creates a lot of friction in the closing process. And everything I speak about in this course, I've done it. I've experienced it on my skin. I've tried it. So I can tell you with deals, everything sounds great. Yeah, let's get to the contract. See the contract, see the clauses, and like, I'm not going to sign with this. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me take it off. So I take it off so I can close the deal because I need the money. And then we end up not fulfilling because we didn't have those clauses, and we make a crazy guarantee. And so we have to refund the money. Great, great deal. So what I was trying to say is we've also got a couple of disputes out of nowhere after having delivered the service and the clients being profitable. And so what I can say is that regardless of having the contract signed of everything, that doesn't make you safe. Payment processors, also depending on the bank that your clients have, they will always give them the priority. It will be very hard for you to win, especially as a new business who's not putting in millions of dollars a year. Why would the payment processor prioritize you over the relationship with the bank? They won't. So making an offer with the mindset that in the worst case scenario, you leverage your contract to keep the money is really not the best move. You're better off not charging a retainer and get paid based on what you actually deliver, which is what the other 3 models have in common. They're much more performance-based. That way, you don't need guarantees. and it's so much easier to close deals. Now, if you prefer the retainer model because you want to get paid regardless of whether you deliver the service and the results, go ahead. You might close a few clients. We've done it before, but long term, the model will fail eventually. And not so much because the model doesn't work, because like I said, I showed there's people who are making $300,000 a month with this model, but it's the intention behind it that will make you lose it in the end. If your intention is just charging this so you can make more and deliver less, doesn't matter what you do, you'll fail. Even with the pay-per-lead model, even with any other model. So think about it. If you knew that your service was great and that all your clients would be very profitable working with you, why would you want to create all that friction up front and not make it as easy as possible for the client to sign up and make it performance-based? Yeah, that's what you would do, right? And that's a perfect transition to the next model, which is the rev share model. Now, what this model is pretty much, when you think about making an offer with this model, is you manage your client's ad spend and you only get paid a percentage of the revenue from the jobs he closes. This is very niche dependent. Not in every job, not in every niche this works. But let's say the client spends, and here obviously the more the client spends, the better it is. Because if they can spend $5,000 a month in ads, you have a chance for them to make a lot with jobs and for you to make a lot of money. But yeah, I don't know. This offer really sounds cool in theory. In theory, it sounds insane. And that's, in fact, the first offer that we transitioned to from the retainer model to, like, the second offer we transitioned to last year was the rev share model. And just because it sounds cool, it doesn't really make it a good offer for your AI lead generation agency. And the reason is simple. I've tried it, and running ads for clients for a month and not getting paid anything, I've done that. And what I realized is that you shouldn't get paid based on an outcome you can't control. Biggest lesson. You shouldn't get paid based on an outcome you can't control, okay? And that's because we were generating leads, but we weren't setting the appointments, and we were not doing the estimates. So we had no control over the sales process, and we had no control whether they would actually close, meaning we had no control over getting paid. We could have been doing our jobs perfectly and still not get paid. And maybe they closed and didn't tell us. We have no control over that. So that prevents you from scaling predictably eventually, because you never know if the client will do his part. However, I do think it is a decent offer to start with if you're new in running ads and generating leads, because it allows you to learn without risking your own money. You're just risking time really. And you're learning every time, every new ad you launch, you get data. You see how good it's performing. You see the quality of leads that come in. You get data. You learn. Okay, so I think it's perfect. I actually think it's very, very good to get started. And who knows, maybe you get that one good client that closes like magic and you make money with them and everything's happy and you live to, I don't know, you end up being business partners. I don't know, nobody knows. But this is definitely the offer with the least amount of friction to close. So especially if you're new and have no client results, it's gonna be easier to get clients with an offer like this. So overall, good model to start, not predictable model to scale. It's very likely for you to make a lot of money with this model. You really need to hit the jackpot, but it's the easiest way to get the feet off the ground. No doubt. To get some experience, get some social proof with this model. Now, next, the pay-per-lead model. Interesting stuff happening here. The pay-per-lead model, what do is you put your own money into ads, you generate the leads, you send them to the client, and then charge the client a fee per lead that they receive at the end of each day or week. Now, this is the model that allowed us to go from $4,000 a month charging retainers in June 2025, after 4 months of starting the agency, to $30,000 a month just 60 days later in August. We were making $30,000 a month. Now, we were generating leads for $15 to $30, and we were selling them for $60 to $70. And after replacement, we had 45% margins in the back end. Now our average profit margins are 54%. Now, not every niche obviously has the same predisposition towards buying leads, and we'll see that soon with the niches. But for some markets, selling appointments is better. But in our case specifically, that month and so far, selling leads, pay-per-lead worked great. There's already, like I showed you, huge companies like Angie, Home Advisor, selling leads all the time in residential construction niche, which is the niche I'm in. So the market definitely already accepts the offer, and it was easier for us to get into it and find people with pay-per-lead. Just think of construction companies, car detailing, any home service business, insurance companies, tax attorneys, lawyers. If they can take on more work and they're good at what they do, all they need is more leads. At the end of the day, if they can close, all they need is more leads. and they will get more customers. That's all they need. So the economics makes also a lot of sense. I have an example here. This is a sheet that we actually use to close clients on the sales calls, as you're going to see later. But let's say they have a marketing budget of $3,000 a month. One of their jobs sells for $6,500 on average, profitability of 40%. Their pay-per-lead fee is $70. We charge $70 per lead. So with $3,000 in budget, they will get 43 leads that month. Lead to appointment rate, if the leads are good, 90% is reasonable. And so you get 38.6 appointments booked for this person. Close rate of 20%, nothing exceptional, nothing at all. They close 7.7 deals that month, spending $3,000. Gross revenue 50K, gross profit 20K. ROAS, return on ad spend, return on marketing on leads, 6.7x. Final profit 17K after removing the $3,000. So it's a return on leads final of 5.7K. That's great. That's just great. And that's why the model makes a lot of sense. And the same with the pay-per-appointment model. This one makes sense too. So what you do here is you go a step further. You control more. You put your money into ads, you generate the leads, you set the appointments with the leads, and then you charge the client a fee per appointment taken at the end of each day or week. It's a little more tricky. You definitely need a little more budget to sustain this, because maybe you don't get paid until the appointment actually shows up, and that appointment might be booked for in a week. So while with pay-per-lead, you make your money back instantly as soon as the lead comes in. But if done correctly, this model allows you to be more profitable than the pay-per-lead model, because you can control how many of these leads turn into appointments. And if you do it right, you can set up your clients for success on the appointment. Literally. If you frame well, when you call these leads, you'll do very well, and you will help your client close. You control more, so you can actually control a little more how happy your client is. However, you also take more risks, since you only get paid if the leads are qualified in the service area. If you work with the businesses where the service area is relevant, they book an appointment and they show up to the appointment. Unless all of this happens, you're not getting paid. So definitely much more risk on your end. Right now, for our clients, we've generated leads for $25. We're converting 50% of them into an appointment. So we're still working on that. We can convert definitely more than that. And we charge $175 per appointment. So in the first week with this client, we paid $282 in ads, which was my fault, because I wasted $140 in the first campaign, as you can see. My fault, I was just testing. But as you can see, we got 19 leads, but this is messed up. This tracking is messed up. We actually got 11 leads. One of these was me when I was testing the funnel. So the actual true cost per lead was not $14.87, it's $25.6, full transparency. And we booked 5 appointments so far, of which the client closed 3 out of 5 already. Okay, and this is the message. Another thing, all 5 showed up, 3 signed with us, 2 pending. Yes, we lowered our margin to 30% to get better feedback from you guys. And yeah, again, his service is anywhere between $4,000 to $12,000. So let's call it a $6,000 average, just to be conservative. He said he dropped 30% margins in order to close more. So these are his number. He paid us $875, $6,000, cost per estimate of $175, close rate 60%. He closed 3 out of 5. He made net profit 5.2x. It's very similar to the return they can get with leads. Okay, simply here they make a little less because they also have to pay for the risk that we're taking. So that's why it's a little less. No, I mean, the return is a little less for them, but pretty good for us. We got a 3.1x net return for ourselves, and that's with a poor 50% booking rate. So it's a win-win, as it should be. That's what business is. It's a win-win. You're exchanging value. And in full transparency, we tried this model in July last year, but we failed miserably. We weren't ready for it. So that's why I'm telling you, you need to be a little more experienced for this model, because we weren't getting leads at a cheap enough rate to make it profitable. We weren't calling all the leads that came in to book them. We pretty much just let an AI chatbot do all the work for the appointment setting. And we didn't even have good enough clients who could close deals and be profitable like this guy was. We didn't have that. So now that we have a good lead generation system dialed in, it's been a year, we've generated over 3.5K leads. We know that the leads are qualified, they come in at a profitable rate, we can take on the appointment setting side of things and make more per lead. We just are taking that on now to make more. But this is definitely not the model I recommend you to start with if you're not selling this already. but definitely a model that works. Now, for some niches, this is actually the only offer that makes sense. Think about barbers, med spas, doctors. They don't have an appointment setting team in-house that can do that, and they're on the, in the hair salon cutting hair. They're not gonna pick up the phone and start, throwing some probing questions, appointment setting and shit like that. They're not gonna do that. So you need for these niches, for example, you need to book the appointments directly. So while we're already talking about niches, let's just get straight into it, into the offer and the niches, module 2. Now, the offer is how you present your model to your ICP, which is your ideal client profile. Who is your ideal client in that niche? And the better offer, the easier getting clients is. Say me and you are both starting out, targeting the same niche, and we both hop on the same amount of sales goals. But you offer $2,000 upfront and $900 a month for ad spend for 3 months of lead generation. And I offer a $70 deposit upfront. I just ask for that. And then just $70 per qualified exclusive lead that I deliver. No upfront fee besides the lead deposit, no ad spend, no retainer, no 3-month contract, nothing. Who do you think will close more deals? Who do you think will close more deals? Probably me. But let's run it out. Let's play how that would be. So offer A, the retainer, the money up front one, the 2K up front. Maybe the first month you close 2 clients. You don't churn anyone because you don't have anyone. You have 2 clients active. You make $4,000 cash collected. Your backend revenue is 0 and your gross profit is $4,000 a month. Me, with my offer, month 1, I close 6 new clients. I don't churn anyone. I have 6 active clients. I only made $420 up front, but I made $6,000 in the back end. Obviously, I also paid for the leads, so 50% margins. My gross profit was 3.4K. So first month, you are winning. You made 4K, I made only 3.4. But month 2, you close 3 new clients. You're pumping it up now. You're doing good. You churn 1 client because you got a dispute. So you not only did the client churn, but you're giving the money back because you failed to deliver and they're mad and you took 2K and you didn't deliver 2K in value. So you only have 4 active clients now. Upfront cash, $6,000, but $2,000 you gave back. So you made $4,000 in profit. Me, I closed 7 new clients. I churned 2 because they weren't really clients that was worth working with or that were going to be profitable with pay-per-lead in that service area specifically. So I have 12 active clients making $490 in upfront cash, considering the clients I closed, and a backend revenue of $12,000 with 50% margins. Okay. And this is including a mere $1,000 a month in marketing spend per client. Mere $1,000. I have clients paying us $20,000 a month in marketing spend. I'll show you, you'll see it later. But we would have made a gross profit of $6,500 while that guy would still be at $4,000. Now, month 3, close 2 clients, churn another client, well dispute, 5 clients active, again, $4,000 a month. And we, 3rd month, close a little less, 6 clients, churn 3, we have 15 active clients, upfront cash for 20, and we make $15,000 a month, of which gross profit is 7.9K. Now, which model do you think is more sustainable? Okay, which model do you think works? And that is why people who do this model stay stuck at $4,000. Look, every month, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000. Like, that's not enough to even pay the bills. That's not good. That's not good, especially if you have a business partner. So, and this is actually a realistic way it would play out if you actually do it. And I say that because we've done it. We played it out like that for the first few months. And this is considering that you only get 1 dispute over 3 months. And that considering that I don't close any whale that can spend at least $10,000 a month in leads. If I do that, I'm going straight to 25K a month. And you're there at 4K a month profit. We are at 25 with upside because we can always make more per client. You are stuck on how much you make per client. And you have to close more to make more. We make money from the back end. Okay? And the reason you're so likely to get disputes with the offer A, by the way, is that it takes longer for them to get an ROI. It just takes longer. So for me personally, why I wish I went straight into more performance-based offer like this one is, like offer B, it's not so much the ease of closing clients, because yes, with an offer like this, you will close more than with an offer like that. It's just the way it is, okay? But it's more for the volume of clients that come in, because the more clients you get, the faster you learn and the more testimonials you can collect faster. And when you are at the beginning, that's gold. I'll tell you what, we didn't even get many testimonials for the past 6-7 months. We got all of them at the beginning and then we kind of stopped even asking for them, which is not good. But what I'm saying is they're not that important after you have a few. But when you have zero, these should be your focus. So a performance-based model, like it could be that offer I showed you, or could be a percentage-based model, they will be very good for you. Because with offer A, you'd be lucky to get 1 testimonial over 3 months if you do well. With offer B, you can easily get 3 testimonials in the first 30 days, no doubt. All you need is for a client to close a 5K job from one of the first 10 leads you sent them. I literally showed you, we got this guy 5 appointments in the first 10 leads, and he closed 3 jobs. Don't you think he would leave as a testimonial? Like, yes, he would. So if you do that, they'll be more than happy to record a testimonial for you, especially if you also say you'll throw a couple leads in just for them for free. Now, I'm not saying there's no agency who's very successful with offer A. I just showed you one right here. They're very successful, very similar offer. They're very successful. 300K a month revenue, okay? But what I'm saying is that without social proof or experience, going with offer A will slow you down. It just takes longer to get your feet off the ground, and do not speak about the margins and the back-end revenue. But especially if you're also pretty new to business and you're not very skilled at sales or confident in your service and lead generation skills, you're putting yourself in a very high pressure situation when you go with offer A. That said, this is the offer I would go for if I was you. This right here. Pay-per lead or pay-per-appointment model. I will say you can also go with percentage based, but most here, the offer overall is pay-per-lead. Pay-per-lead is the best one, okay? If you are not confident in running leads, forget this. Go with the percentage-based, okay? Have them put the ad spend. You cannot take the risk up front of putting ad spend because maybe you don't have the cash for it or you don't have the skill for it. So if you don't have that, really starting from ground zero, I already ran ads before, so I already was kind of confident in it. But if you're not, go with percentage based. You're not gonna make that crazy amount of money, but the amount of data you're gonna get back, how much you're gonna learn, insane. So go with that. If not, this is the offer. Pay-per-lead or pay-per-appointment. You minimum want to get 1 lead or appointment deposit upfront. That is non-refundable, and that is in case their payment fails at the end. That's what you tell them. In case, one day we stop working together and your payment fails or whatever, I'm gonna use that deposit that you give me to pay for it. It's just like a trust, whatever. So you get upfront fee, and then you throw in an AI solution. This video obviously will not cover that. It's client acquisition here, guys. Today is client acquisition. So that AI solution could be chatbots, tracking dashboard, a website, SEO. Do your research. Go to all these people who say they have an AI agency and see what they do, what they offer for AI, and put it in the back end instead of paired with selling leads. And honestly, that offer right there, if you also have these and you're scaling a little bit, this is what we're starting to do now. We're actually adding these and we're charging $297 a month for it. So now not only do we sell per lead and have our paid performance, but we also have a stable monthly recurring revenue coming in. If you're starting out, don't even try that. Just add it as a service for free to get more closes in. In the future, you can think about that. So we have no upfront fee pretty much because we only have trust deposit, no ad spend. The client don't have to put the ad spend. You put the ad spend up front. There's no monthly retainer because right now you're not charging anything for the AI, and there's no really big contract like all people who do retainer chart. They put them stuck in this 3-month contract. You don't do that. And now that you have your offer, you need to pick your niche. For clarity, we can separate niches in 2 categories: personal services and professional services. Personal services are home, health, beauty, and car services. So I'll give you the full sub-niches list in a second, but professional services, you can get an idea. They are law, insurance, finance, any kind of B2B that needs leads and clients. Could be software, So the main difference between these 2 categories is the barrier to entry and the scaling potential. It's easier to convince a plumber to work with you, but it's harder to have a plumber pay you $10K a month for your leads or service. Not just because not many plumbers make enough to afford that, but even if you start with them when they're smaller and you help them grow, they have a capacity limit. And sometimes they don't have the drive to scale to those $1 million months or years. They're mindset is to just make enough money and make a little more than they're making now, get a new car. But software companies, for example, finance companies, they're looking to make millions, so they will justify a 10K expense. So these guys, for example, plumbers, can't take infinite jobs. They will need to expand the crew, open a new location, and so on. So personal services instead, while personal services, including plumbers, are easier to start with, they're harder to scale past 200 and 300K a month, and so on. There's some, obviously. Now, with professional services instead, on the other hand, most companies can afford to pay you 10K a month in leads or marketing. They do that like that because they make so much money, and they have almost unlimited scale. Think about insurance. All they gotta do is close more. The service delivery has no extra cost or really take time. So it's all a scaling game for them. It's a numbers game. The more they need to put money out so they can get more clients in, and then it's just a numbers game. However, it's hard to close these people, these sort of businesses, and especially if you have no social proof. Now, a very logical transition, which I honestly can't see myself doing, can see myself doing in the next 2 to 5 years, is scale this agency in the personal services niche first. So ours is for residential contractors. We scale that to, I don't know, 100, 200K a month. And then we use that social proof and experience to pivot into professional service where we can easily scale to $1 million a month. So if you're watching this video, however, I assume you're not making 100K a month. So I'm going to focus on personal service niches. Here's a few that you can pick between and all of their sub niches. We have solar, window and doors, garage doors, fencing, decks and patios, pool installation, basement waterproofing, mold remediation, water damage restoration, pest control, flooring, painting, electrical, plumbing, septic services, gutters, garage storage organization. Honestly, this one is not that great. Home security systems is good. Bathroom remodeling, and obviously also kitchen. Bathroom and kitchen. ADU and home additions. All of these are all proven to work and good for the home service, for the home area, for the home niche. Okay. For health, we have dental implants, cosmetic dentistry, Invisalign, chiropractors, physical therapy, weight loss, hormone therapy clinic. Nowadays, we already know we're gonna have peptides in there. I don't know, clinic or product, TRT clinics. I guess that's what it is, hormone therapy clinics. It would be TRT, but IV therapy clinics, dermatology, vision correction, hearing aids, podiatry, fertility clinics, peptides, and TRT. Beauty, we have med spas, barbers, hair salons, laser hair removal, Botox, permanent makeup, microblading, lash extensions, body contouring, tattoo removal, skin clinics, bridal hair and makeup, and nail salons. And for car, we've got car detailing, ceramic coating, paint protection film, window tinting, car wraps, paintless dent repair, collision repair, auto glass windshield repair, mobile mechanics, auto repair shops, transmission repair, tire shops, car washes, used car dealerships, and performance tuning. All of these people, all of them, they all need leads. All of them, from the first one to the last one, every business you can think of, they need leads, and these are the main sub niches you can target. Now, you should pick a niche that you have an inclination or an interest towards. That's the niche that's going to be easier for you to understand. And if you understand the niche, you can sell to the niche easier. You can market to the niche much better and be much more relatable to them. Now, if you're sure, I would recommend, obviously, to research each sub niche one by one until something catches your eyes or you feel something and it just feels right. It feels like this niche right here is in the sweet spot. That's how it was for me with residential contractors. Honestly, I didn't do that much research. I didn't. I just, when I heard about it, I was like, yeah, it just feels right. High ticket. It just feels like the right thing. It just makes sense to me. That's what I want to sell to. And it's probably one of the hardest niches I could have picked because I still am obviously Italian, but I was even younger. I was more than a year younger than now. And I still now look young. I'm almost 22 and I look 18. Okay, so with an Italian accent on top of that. So when I'm selling to these guys who are 40, 50 years old and they work construction their whole life, and they look at me and I want them to pay me thousands of dollars a month. Okay, it's very hard, especially when I'm not living in the US. So if I did that with that niche, just because it felt right, I'm sure you can do it as well with every niche, because the truth is every niche works. If there's at least one agency, this is a rule, if there's at least one agency making $100,000 a month in the niche, you can too. If there's nobody making at least $1,000 a month in the niche, it means there's not enough demand and it doesn't work for this model. It's that simple. Whatever you do, don't be afraid of a saturated niche. I'd much rather be afraid of a empty niche, of a blue ocean, than being afraid of a saturated niche. Because saturation is only the indication that there's a lot of money in the niche, a lot of opportunity for it to be better than the rest. That's simple. As a beginner, like I said, I'd much rather be in a saturated niche than a blue ocean, not knowing if there's fish in that ocean. So pick your niche, and once you do your own research in the niche. Dig deep, deep, deep into everything. And next, we're going to talk about setup fees and lead packages. Because I already know what you're thinking about. If the goal is to get as many clients as possible, so I can learn as fast as possible and get testimonials faster, shouldn't I just charge nothing upfront? Why would you even want to charge for the little upfront deposit? Okay, that is a good point. It truly is, and it convinced me personally for a long time, and I've fallen for it. Here's how much we spent only on ads. That doesn't include all the other acquisition systems. Only on ads between January and May 2026 to get some clients. It's not that much, to be honest. It's not much if you think about it, $3,000. And the reason we weren't able to spend more is that we were not charging money up front. We were charging no money up front. And that was just unsustainable, meaning that was a full expense instantly. We lost 3.4K right away in the hope of making that money back with leads. But we just were too naive, because there was no ROAS in the front end, and we weren't even charging a lead deposit. We just wanted to get people in because we knew that the money was in the leads. I still believe the money is in the leads. However, here's where we were naive. We didn't know that charging nothing up front attracted, guess who? Bad clients. And it repelled the good ones. Because every business owner making over $1 million a year with their business doesn't expect for your service to be free. They understand that things cost money, time, people, and they expect a fee to get started. And if you don't have it, they won't take you seriously. And the truth is, if other companies, service or agencies in your same niche have scaled with a setup fee, you can do the same too. Sure, you want to be different, you want to be better, but it doesn't mean that charging a fee upfront is wrong or doesn't work. It just means you're not good enough at selling it, or you're not good enough at marketing it. Because Angie charges a monthly fee to be part of their program, and a setup fee, and a yearly fee, or depends which package you go with. So if they did it, why can we not charge a setup fee and still get millions of dollars worth of clients? We can. It's all in the mind. It's a limiting belief. So you need to see the data. You need to see the data in front of your eyes. You need to see that it's actually possible and there's people doing it in your same niche, so you can break off that illusion that setup fees don't work, or it's cost too much, it's too expensive. Nobody would ever pay this. They do pay it every day, all the time. So just find whatever data you need to find to convince yourself of that. And I'd actually like to argue that our close rate was lower with a setup fee than with a setup fee. Like without than with. Now, how much you should charge really depends, but I'd get started with a simple lead deposit fee, like I said. So pretty much just a setup fee worth the equivalent of one lead or appointment, depending on which one you're in. And that's because it's very easy to justify, okay? You can just say, in case something goes wrong, in case you don't pay, your card declines, we're just going to use that. And then if you're closing a lot and are comfortable in your service delivery and closing skills, I would just up it to $200 and go from there. For us, we charge anywhere between $200 and $800 up front, depending on the type of person we're talking to. So I promise you there's many people who will be willing to pay that. Now, you might ask, what about charging for 10 to 20 lead packages up front instead of the setup fee? There's other guys in the lead generation, especially in lead generation niche, not AI lead, just lead generation without AI. And they charge big packages, okay? And what I can say with that is that it's a tricky thing. It's great on paper, because you see these people closing deals for $3,000-$4,000, and the truth is you get all the money for the leads up front. But then it hits you when you have to actually get leads for the clients. I think it's normalized for nationwide businesses like insurance companies, where the service area does not impact cost per lead. So if I add an agency in the insurance niche, I would want the lead package up front because I already know nationwide what it costs me to get a lead. So it's very predictable. While when it comes to local businesses, I think it's a very dangerous model to run. You can really get fucked. It's happened to us a couple times that we charge for a lead package, and then either because of the area or the CPL was rising out of nowhere, either way, we end up having to pause the campaigns, clients asking where the leads are, and we just end up barely breaking even on the campaigns, and it was a pain in the ass. That's what it was. So we do not charge lead packages anymore, and if we do, nothing above 5 leads with new clients, especially in areas that we'd never work with, especially in areas that we've never run ads in before, because you never know what the area is like. And not so big, because ad fatigue is a thing, and especially locally. So after a while, you'll see the cost per lead in that area. After, we've seen it with clients who are spending 30K with us. The cost per lead in that area just keeps going up after a while, because there's made the top of the market, people who are more ready to buy mood and more qualified, just are already became a lead, and so now there's less people, and yes, they will regenerate themselves, but if you're spending more than the amount of leads that there are, if you're spending more than demand, then the cost per lead will go up. Especially if you're not good with money, you might think that you're so rich and you make so much money, you think you cash collected 8K this month, 8K profit, and then you gotta pay that 50% of that at least to get the leads. Now we instead don't do any of this. We automatically charge the clients manually on Stripe at the end of each business day, and that's been working great for us. So for now, all you need to worry about is getting clients in. Don't worry about the lead package and this kind of stuff. And in order to do that, once you decide what niche and offer to go for, it's time to set up your funnels and your sales assets. So if all of this is clear, let's get straight into that. Never mind change of plans. Once you pick your niche, before you create any sales assets and you start looking for clients, you need to fully understand the people you're targeting. So do not start writing anything before you do this. You literally get your ICP template and research done. So you need to know what time do they wake up, what car do they drive, what's their morning routine, what hours do they work, what type of work do they do, literally anything you can think of. It took me over a year to fully understand my niche, the residential construction niche, and truthfully, only way to fully learn niche, and really only when I learned it, unless you already are in that niche or were in the niche, like working directly, is to speak with hundreds of these businesses and work with dozens of them. Now, the good news is that AI makes collecting the info so much faster and easier than it used to be. So that's going to be good, but it doesn't replace the work you need to put to actually understand the niche. Having the information is easy. Understanding the information is the hard part. And so the best thing you can do is create your own ICP research doc. So both you and AI can use that as context to create everything that you're going to do next. Here's a template that you can follow. I put it here. You can go through on your own time later. Down here, you should find a link to have this document, this whole thing, so that you can study it all completely for free. Maybe I'll ask you for your email. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. But either way, it's going to be free. All you have to do once you have this template is paste it into ChatGPT or Claude and have them fill it out. And then I still 100% recommend doing some manual research. I have a video on this channel where I do it live if you're interested, and how to do it and the psychology behind it. So do that. Just look on my channel for market research. It's a pretty big video, also a lot of views, so you should find it. And follow this rule: do not write anything before doing research. Number one copywriting rule. That's the difference between great sales material and sales assets and terrible ones. So don't skip this part. And now we can actually get into the sales funnel. So drink. Like I said, this is going to be very value dense. We're only here. Okay, there's still a lot to go and a lot of sauce. So it's big. So if you need a break, or if you need to let all of that sink in, take that now before we get into the sales funnel, and take 5 minutes, go for a walk, get something to drink. It's been 40 minutes or something. So do that, and then let's get into this. So regardless of the niche, offer, or client acquisition vehicle system, whatever you want to call it, that you pick, you need to set up your own sales funnel. It's important. And here's everything that you need to have in place before you start getting clients. First of all, your CRM, calendar, booking page, confirmation page, email confirmation and reminders, and text sequence. We'll move through this section very fast, so don't worry about it. And most of the things you can literally just copy and paste them. So we can then move into actual getting clients, client acquisition much faster. Any know-how here is really a 2-minute YouTube search or Google search away. So I'm not going to get too deep into the information because it's very easy stuff, copy paste. What matters is the strategy behind it. So first thing is the CRM. I use Go High Level. It's a no-brainer. I don't know any agency who's using a different one. All you need if you're starting out is the $97 a month plan, nothing more than that. And by the way, I'm not selling anything, but I am giving a free 30-minute one-on-one coaching call to the first 100 people who sign up to the Go High Level free trial with my link down here in the description. You can, if you have the doc, you can just click on it right here. So sign up with that, and to the first 100 people, I will just speak to you one-on-one, face-to-face on Discord, and give you some extra value. You can ask me any questions you want. Honestly, that's the only way to ask me questions. My profile is private on Instagram, so if you really think I know what I'm talking about and you'd like some help, sign up through that. If you don't have Go High Level yet, or upgrade your subscription if you already have it. And yeah, it will redirect you to a private Discord community where you can chat with me and my business partner every day. So not just the call, but also that. And then you'll be able to pick a time to talk to me. That's simple. If you don't want the extra value, you don't have to sign up with me. I'm not forcing you, and I honestly don't care. Just sign up on your own because you'll need it anyways. GHL is just what you need for this agency if you want to have an agency overall in life. Calendar. All you need to is one calendar for the sales calls. This is how I set up mine. 30-minute meetings, duration 30 minutes. Scheduling notice is 2 hours. Date range no more than 3 days. If they book 5 days in advance, they're not going to show up. You don't want that. And then maximum bookings per slot 2. In the redirect settings, we want to make sure that we redirect anyone who books to the confirmation page once we build it in a second. And for the qualification questions, this is what we ask. Company, on top of the name, email, and phone number, we ask company name, size of the business, and if their company have a sales center, a call center, salespeople, or appointment centers. Next, booking page. This is the page that will send traffic to whenever people want to book a call with us directly. Regardless of the acquisition channel you decide to use, you need to set up a page like this. The booking page structure is actually super simple. You have a niche call out, headline, sub-headline, call to action and incentive, calendar, process breakdown, and social proof. These two are optional, if you are not so sure, if you don't have any social proof, and if you're not so sure what the process looks like yet for yourself, you can also skip this, but I'm going to show you what mine looks like. Okay, so here you're going to have the logo, niche call out. So that's going to be, for example, for residential contractors. For you want to be a little more specific, you're targeting specific sub niches. So that's one other thing. Do not go into overall for health professionals. No, for chiropractors. Only pay for qualified estimate appointment we book for you. This is obviously for residential contractors. Dentists don't have estimate appointments. Then like I said here, call to action in sub headline. Here we can use known statements. I'll show you a couple of templates in a second. And then book a time below, call to action. See if your area qualifies for special offer. That is the incentive I was talking about. Here's the calendar. Like I said, next, this is an example, but here's the form we use in it. Go a level. And that's pretty much it. So you can build this probably in 10 minutes. What takes the most time definitely is the headline, writing a good headline. Here's a couple of frameworks that worked well for me in the past for the headline and are proven to work. ICP call out, so steal. For example, if you are, this is for example, for dentists. Offer or the promise that you're, whatever it is. So I'll put the money into ads, get you the leads. You only pay $70 per lead. That is your offer or promise. Or I will increase your close rates by 30% in the next 3 days. Or what was my promise at the beginning of this video? I'll show you everything you need to know to start your agency and get your first client in under 3 days. That is the offer or promise. And then known statements or social proof. These are what known statements are. So not things that they either don't like or they've tried in the past or other alternatives that they don't want. Okay, so no setup fees, no ad spend, no retainers. These is our known statements, which make these look better. It's usually a logical continuation of the offer. So imagine you're telling them the offer, the promise, and what is the first objection that comes to mind? What is the first thing that comes to mind? Oh, but this, oh, but this, oh, but that. All those things, you want to say you don't have them. So no this, no that, no whatever. All those things that logically come to mind right after they hear your promise. Some copywriting there for you. Next one, still call out at the top will get you desirable time frame, or your money back, or I buy your agency, or I get naked, whatever the risk reversal is. And then down there, you still want to have known statements. If you don't want to use known statements and you have very good social proof, you can also do that. So what that would look like is 3,000 leads generated for contractors just like you. I could put that down here at the bottom, and it would look good. It would still work. If you sign up to Go Level through my link and are in my Discord community, by the way, just send me your funnel. I can help you with the copy myself. Now, for confirmation page, ironically, the confirmation page is more important than the booking page. It's the first and most important step in your show-up system. So it's important you get it right, or you're not going to get anyone to show up to your calls, even if you book calls. And these are the elements you want to have eventually in your confirmation page as you scale. You might not have all of them today, but over time, just start building them up. Confirmation video, due diligence video, breakout videos, and social proof. Here's what my confirmation page looks like. Your call is not confirmed. Do your due diligence. How do I know this is not all BS? I don't have the confirmation. I don't have a confirmation video. I just went straight into a due diligence video. Let me see if it lets me play.
So how do you know that everything?
Okay, so due diligence video is simply going over your payment processor, showing that you're making money and you have so many transactions and you have so little disputes. And if you have any disputes or if you have any refunds, just break those refunds down, explain what happened to build more proof. That is what a due diligence video is. If you want to learn more on shop systems, I would definitely recommend checking out Jeremy Hayes. I can't avoid but putting you on sauce and giving you value, even if it's not for me. That is super valuable. So not that video specifically, but he has video on the shop systems and the confirmation page best practices. Check him out. He's the GOAT when it comes to this. So like I said, in the video, we have due diligence video, confirmation video, what's on your mind. These are all going to be breakout videos. So what these do is they answer one specific question that the client might have right now, kills objections and all that kind of stuff. Where you find material and ideas for these objections, just look at your ICP research doc. If you've done it correctly, you're going to have a section with objections, so you can just take those and turn them into 2-minute videos. Literally easy ass videos like this, 2 minutes long.
How much do we charge per lead? Great.
And when you just get into it, raw videos, easy, or looms. I had the option to send us a message if they want. We have some people do that. And then we have our testimonials down here. That simple, okay? And again, maybe you don't have all of this today, but you can start building it over time. So maybe you don't have that much social proof or a lot to show in your due diligence video because you don't have 500 transactions like we do. Well, all that means is you need to double down on breakout videos and build more trust. That's simple. An easy way to come up with breakout videos, like I said, check out your ICP doc and keep them between 2 to 5 minutes long, raw video, simple loom. One thing about the confirmation video that you want is, if you're doing it, make sure that you mention that they need to check their email and confirm their appointment with you. In fact, what we say here at the top is your call is not confirmed. Then here in your here you're gonna say they need to check their email to confirm the appointment. Here, in fact, a confirmation video script that you can take inspiration from. We had it in our agency before. I'm not going to read it because you can get it on your own. It's very, very simple. Thank you for booking a call with us. Reply yes. So I know you got everything and we're good to go. And then we just go into, exactly what happens next, what we do on the call, the goal of the call, simple stuff like that. What the breakout videos cover. So we tell them to watch them. Super, super simple. Check this later. Number 5, we want to have email confirmations and reminders. So once you're done with your pages and funnel, on Go High Level, you want to set up a very simple email confirmation and reminder workflow, and that triggers anytime someone books a call on your calendar. This is what our confirmation email looks like. You confirm your AI demo call. Hey, contact first name, your demo call has been booked for this day, and add this link. Before the call, please watch this 4-minute video. These VDs will send them to the info page, the confirmation page. It'll show you exactly what to expect on the call and help you determine whether our AI lead system is a fit for your business. One quick favor, reply to this email with yes, so I know you've received the meeting details. Looking forward to speaking with you, Mattia. Simple. Then a 4-hour reminder via email. Quick note, that's the subject line. Hey, first name, looking forward to speaking to you today at appointment time. Before jumping on, take a second to think about this. What service area would you like us to target? And here you have 3 questions that just so you don't send just hey, just reminding you of the time, but you actually try to get more information out of them and to think about the call and actually see how serious the call is. The more clarity you have going in, the more straightforward and useful the call will be. Talk soon. Your name, signature. That's all you need to get started, honestly. And as long as you start getting more calls booked and you can see people are actually opening your emails, you should set up a simple email sequence that provides them more trust and builds trust, provides more value and builds trust. All you have to do is take one of your breakout videos, put them on a separate page, and then write a brief email redirecting people to that image, to that video. Okay, so a page like this. Logo, how does the demo call work? And that's just simple as.
Another question we get pretty often is, how does the call work? What?
Easy, just like that. And if they click this button, they will be redirected back to the to the confirmation page, so they can watch the remaining breakout videos. Okay, now text sequence. The text sequence is far more important than the email sequence, actually. But if you're starting your agency today and you don't have a Go Level account or a company set up, it's not gonna be that easy for you to get a text number. So you have to go through an application process. You can look it up online, A2P number registration on Go High Level. So if you don't have a number, send more reminders via email, more than just 24 hours and 4. Send more. But if you have text, that's what we use. So after 2 minutes of them coming in, we send, hey, first name, it's Mattia from company. Just so you book the time to talk about our pay per estimate offer. Then you wait 6 seconds and you say, is this the right number? So they will see this in a very natural way and they'll think it's actually you. Then 24 hours before the call, hey, first name, looking forward to speaking tomorrow. 3 hours before the call, hey, we're still good to talk at time today, right? 15 minutes before the call, ready to jump on the meeting in 15 minutes. Do you have a link to join and everything? 1 minute before the call, joining now. If we don't get a response here within 30 minutes to an hour, we call them. And if they don't answer, we keep calling them because we want them to show up. Make sure to download the app version of Go Level, which is Lead Connector. That way you have notifications on and you can see as soon as someone answers. But what about the VSL? I'll have some of you asking me. Also because I have a video about VSLs in this channel too. And something that I learned recently actually is that the point of a VSL is to build trust. You hope that by watching the extra 7 to 10 minutes of information, the customer will trust you more, like you better, and have less objections. That's the whole point. And the truth is that we've had a BSL before in our funnel and it did well, but only through paid ads, like you're about to learn very soon. We also achieved equally good results via paid ads without the BSL. And because every acquisition channel doesn't require VSL to work, I wouldn't make it an important, vital step for you to focus on right now. You really don't need it to start. Right now, we're running ads. We were running ads last week, and we did not have a VSL, and we still got those numbers. So you don't need it, at least not right now. Okay. Also, considering that you're very unlikely to go straight into paid ads for reasons that I'm going to show you in a second, you're probably not going to use it. So how do we build a trust without the VSL to make sure people that we want to close like us and trust us more before the sales call? Because that's honestly very important. We want to do most of the selling. The best companies do most of the selling before the sales call, and the sales call becomes a cash collecting call where they just pay. It's like a register. That's the goal. And there's 2 ways we can do that. Better appointment setting. So discovery call, asking their, discovering their pain asking them questions, probing questions, really discovering really what pains they have while we appointment set them, so they can trust us better, be more relatable, feel like we understand them. And then content. They need to see and watch content from you, which are both covered in the next section. So, ho ho ho. Let's move straight into it. Client acquisition. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for this. I am excited for this. Actually, let me sip my tea. I'm so excited I have to sip it. Boys, the biggest regret I have in my agency is how long it took us to realize the importance of client acquisition, consistent client acquisition. These, as you can see, are some of the numbers from a little screenshot from the big sheet that I have of clients that we closed. And look, between August 25th and October 30th, we closed what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 clients in 2 months. That is not enough. That is not good. That is not consistent. You can see here, 3 days. We closed 4 in 3 days, and then 2.5 weeks without nothing. Then we close, then we close 1, then 3 in 2 days, and then boom, another week goes by, nothing. And then 3 weeks go by and we close 2 in 1 day. Like, it was not consistent. It was just not consistent, and it was the biggest regrets that I have. We would go on a 1 to 2 week streak where we would focus a lot on acquisition, get some clients in, and then totally stop for 2 weeks. And that's for 3 reasons. Here's why we were stopping. Not because we were stupid or something, but we just were getting the wrong people on, like we spoke about at the beginning of the video when we talked about the model. The hit rate on a good client with size and money to spend was very low. So we were spending time and money to acquire clients that would never actually give us an ROI. And second, our acquisition system was not scalable. We would run out of people to reach out to because we were really only using SMS, as you'll see. When we were really scaling at the beginning, we couldn't find an appointment setter who performed, and the ad campaigns would stop performing after a few days. I would say a few weeks, okay? We run a campaign for a couple of weeks, and then ad fatigue would hit, and we couldn't recover. So it was our fault at the end of the day, but we just didn't have a consistent acquisition system. Now, we do have, at this point, a more scalable acquisition system, more consistent, and we're consistently acquiring new clients with new money to spend every single week. So in this section, I'll go through everything. We try to get clients, what worked, what didn't, and what you should do at any stage of your agency, because all of these come into play at different stages, so you don't want to skip any of them. Until last week, considering ads alone, it costs us about $40 to $45 to book a call. That's only on ads. You'll see things changed. I'll tell you in the paid ads module. We're not really running ads at this moment. And on those, we have a 50% show rate, 20% close rate, and a 101 return on front end. So we spend down $1 and we get $1 back. But then that's before selling any leads and appointments, and that's where we have our 50% margins. So I consider that very good. We're closing 1 to 2 clients per week, and we can still scale. Now we switch things up a little bit. So as I go through the model, I'll explain better. But it took us 15 months to get to this point, and I'll tell you everything you need to know to get your first new client, your first or a new client in your agency in the next 3 days, ideally. I really think you can do it in 72 hours, depending on which one of these you follow. Now, there's 5 main acquisition systems or channels that you should consider. We have cold calling, mass DM, cold email, ads, content. We tried all of them, and all of them work. Trust me, all of them work. Don't believe anyone who tells you the opposite. Everything works. There's companies who make millions of dollars a year only through cold emails. They even deliver the service through cold emails. There's lead generation companies that only work through cold emails. Some do door knocking, some go to networking events, some run YouTube ads, some only do cold DMs on Facebook and Instagram, some only do LinkedIn outreach. Every acquisition channel can work. You just need to pick the one that makes the most sense for your niche, for your offer, for your finances, and for your stage of growth of the agency. That's simple. So what we need to know before we get into the acquisition systems is, first of all, that each acquisition strategy has its pros and cons. Okay, each of these systems are different, and they serve a different purpose at different stages. So, for example, cold calling, 3-0, it's perfect if you're making $0 to $3,000 a month. You're targeting small or new businesses, and it is hard but good. Good if you have a lot of time and not much money. You can rip this out and just get clients. SMS. if you're making $3,000 a month, target is small and new businesses still. It's not the best to start out, but definitely good once you have a few good clients and $1,000 a month in marketing budget. You do need some money to run SMS. Emails, they're perfect to go off anywhere between 0 and 50K a month. You can scale with emails, and you can target really all businesses, because if you're smart and use a little bit of AI or some tools to find the personal email of the CEO of any big company, you can get directly to them and show them your, they can read your email while they're having coffee in the morning. These multi-billion-dollar companies, you can only really do that at a cheap rate via email. So that's, for me, in my opinion, the best one to start and scale, and it's pretty much free. All you're gonna do is be smart and creative in your approach. However, it is pretty hard or very rare that you land a whale through email. While paid ads, it's perfect. If you're making over $10,000 a month to whatever, you can make anything, and you're born to target whales. It's not worth it to spend, in my opinion, at this point, $50 per booked call to get the same quality you get for pretty much free via email. It's not worth it. But what ads do is they allow you to spend $300 per call, and you can land those clients that have $10,000 to $20,000 a month in budget to spend just for leads. And only ads really allow you to do that. And even if at this point you already checked this list and you know you won't do cold calls, I still recommend not skipping the module, because the lead scraping and validation process applies to also SMS and email. So that's the first thing we'll get into as soon as we get into cold calling. However, today you want to get this set up. Unless you have this, do not start acquisition, because unless you have this, it's just, you're not going to close clients. So take a couple days. It might take a couple days. Shouldn't take more than a couple days. But you want to have your agency name, your logo, domain, payment processor, bank account, Instagram, Facebook page, and YouTube channel, Facebook business profile, CRM. I use Go High Level, like I already said, landing page, booking page, confirmation page, email domain setup, email confirmation, and 3 reels on Instagram. We'll get into content later, so you can see what's post. And then there's a 30-day setup. So within your first 30 days, your goal should be to have company registered, or some sort of personal business, something that gives a tax number so that you can get a phone number. That's very important. And you want to have at least 10 reels. But what about testimonials? I already gave you a little update earlier, but the truth is that every single agency started without testimonials. And for as useful as they are, you can start without and have great success today. You can close clients today without testimonials. I closed my first clients without testimonials. So how could you not do that? Everybody can. However, definitely don't take testimonials or case studies. Instead, put the effort into creating content on Instagram and YouTube. Creating content that shows that you understand your target audience and you have the knowledge to help them is the best way you can build trust. So just do that. Especially if you have a performance-based offer, that is enough to convert. At first, I was leveraging my personal brand personally on YouTube to increase my authority. I had to, because I was selling a retainer offer. But if I was smart, if I watched a video like this and I knew the different models and why each one works and what to do, I would have just gone straight into a performance-based one, and I wouldn't need 10,000 subs on YouTube to close. So that's what I would say. You can just get into the offer. Don't worry about testimonials. Just make it for you a goal. I would say within 60 days to get your first testimonial. That would be a good achievement. So let's get into cold calling. So this is me cold calling 30 dials on March 21st, 2025. This is 21 days after starting the agency. And I was cold calling residential contractors from my bedroom in Italy at 1 a.m. because we didn't have money for any paid acquisition. So we just had to raw dog it, literally. And here's my honest take on cold calling. I think it's a great way to start. Learn the market in depth, collect objection, and optimize your sales script. It was extremely uncomfortable for me personally. And what was even harder was the fact that I was trying to sell something that I hadn't really tested yet. Nobody was really, I don't know. I just never really believed in the retainer model, and that's what we're trying to sell. So I couldn't believe in what I was selling. So it was even harder for me to push myself. Now it's easy because I know when I have works. I know the businesses we've impacted and changed with our leads. I know we can get the leads. I know we can be profitable. I know we can change their life. So I'm much more comfortable closing and selling whatever we have to offer and marketing it. But at the time, I wasn't at all. I felt like I was selling something that I hadn't tested. And it's not like I had the support of someone who had done it before, like you could have, for example, from me. So I really felt like it was all up to me, and I just wasn't confident. I had never run ads for any local businesses. I had for other businesses, but not for local businesses. So although I knew I would have pulled it off in the end, I couldn't fully believe in my abilities and my service, which made the whole process very painful and even more tiring, draining, really. However, it worked. We did end up closing a few people and make our first few $1,000 through cold calling, pretty much. And this is our, this is our revenue for between March 1st and April 30th of 2025. So as you can see, at the time we were selling on a retainer basis. So that made things, like I said, so made things even harder. However, if you have some balls and want $200 to invest only, then this you can do, okay? Starting with the scraping process. Scraping, I use Bolt's Google Maps scraper. It's perfect for local businesses. You can just scrape very fast on, I'll just show you how mine looks like, it's that simple. I'll show you, actually, I'll actually do it with you in a second, but you can just use that. If you're going after insurance companies or attorneys or more B2B sort of corporate businesses, I would use Apollo or any similar tool. These scrapers particular, I've started using it 2 years ago, really at the beginning of any agency I had. And it's great because with $20 a month, you can scrape 100,000 leads. And that's more than you need for any of these acquisition systems. If you want 15% off, actually, I have partnered up with them. I asked them for a referral link for a discount link for my audience. So you can use just Juby15 at checkout. You get 15% off on top of $20, which I know it's not much, but when you're starting out, every dollar counts. I know that. So I hope that helps. If you don't want to sign up, still sign up for free, because they also have a free version, and you get $500, 500 leads a month with that right away. So do that. Once you got it, just input a comma space separated list with this format right here. Business category on Google in city, state. Business category in city to state. So what I do, I usually ask ChatGPT to give me the list of top 30 or 40 or 20 or 50, depending on the state, cities in a specific state. And then it gives me the complete list that will look something like this. Plumber in Miami, plumber in Tampa, plumber in Edgewater, whatever. I can just copy this list real quick and I'll put it here, the scrape, and boom, it's gonna start scraping, and in a few minutes I'm gonna have it, and super simple. What else can I say? So if you want discount, use that. And now let's go into phone validation. Okay, this next step is a little bit annoying, I have to say, but it is necessary if you do cold calling and if you do mass SMS, because you don't want to be reaching out to receptionists or gatekeepers, especially in SMS, because if you do that, messages will bounce and your number will be deleted, pretty much banned. So you want to make sure you're only reaching out to valid mobile numbers. And you want to go straight to the decision maker. Okay. So I don't know if there's a cheaper, more effective way to do this now, but this is how I do it and how I've done it. If you want to save 10%, I use Clear Out Phone. Okay. If you want to use 10%, I'm not affiliated with them, but I recommend signing up for the monthly package and then removing it. So let me show you what mine looks like on Clear Out Phone. So as you can see, I've validated over 530,000 leads. I have still 10,000 credits up here. What I recommend when you sign up is, if you need more credits, so buy credits, do the $10,000 credits for monthly. So you pay $52 for 10,000 credits instead of paying $58 for 10,000 credits. Okay. Not that much saving, but it's better, in my opinion, than getting 5,000 credits for $35. So as you can see, I actually use this. I've used it for my leads. And then what I do is I open it on Google Sheet, whatever list it gives me back. And I filter the phone number columns for mobile numbers, because that's all we need. Then we copy the list and we put it in a new sheet, and that's the list we'll call. And this step is actually important, because if you don't do this and you just export the sheet after putting the filter, it won't be applied and you'll just export the full list. So you want to copy the whole list, copy, paste all the leads into a different page, and then you export it. Because Obviously, you don't want to be reaching out to receptionists and gatekeepers. Next, for cold calling is the cold calling software. So if you live in the country you want to do business in, you're very lucky, and you can get started calling from your mobile number right away. It's not scalable to 1,000 dials a day. Eventually, you'll go to spam, but you get a good pickup rate first, and you can close your first clients. So you don't have any to spend really any extra money to start besides these two things, less than $100, and you don't even need a cold calling software. While if, like me, you're targeting the US and you don't live there, you do need a cold calling software. We started off with OpenPhone because it was cheaper, but we were going to spam. Pickup rate was very bad. So then I used Kixi, and it did the job. I'm not in a position to recommend it because I didn't use it enough. But if you want to have a you just look for softwares like that, do a little bit of research. But you do want that because what it does is most businesses are used to cold calls, and they only answer to calls coming from their area code. And so if they see a call coming from a different state, a random number that you got on go ahead level or on open phone, they won't answer. It automatically gets rotated and boom, doesn't work. While a proper cold calling tool, they automatically rotate your number to the custom area code. So if they see you're calling someone that starts with 307, they'll give you a phone number to call with starting with a 307, which is great. And that's why I think it's worth the money if you actually do cold calling seriously. For step number 4, start dialing. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Grab your balls and start dialing, okay? Once you have the leads and the tool, you're ready to dial. So now all you need is a good cold calling script. I test a lot of scripts in opening. This is the one we ended up using the most. So start with something like, hey, can you hear me? They say, yes, I can. Yeah, I saw on Google that you do, for example, fences, and I'm currently booking fencing estimates for about $17 each. So yeah, I was just calling to see if you're already fully packed for the summer or if I could maybe help you fill up the schedule. As you can tell, I wasn't very good at cold calling, but still made money. They'll answer something like, sure, or something like that. And then, yeah, so you know how fencing companies usually struggle with not filling up their schedule or having enough leads, booking the leads manually, stuff like that. They will say, yeah. And so you say, yeah, yeah. So what we do is we help companies like that get higher volume of leads, book those leads in autopilot, on autopilot with AI, and we actually follow up with them for you. So if they don't convert into estimates, we book them for you, you close more jobs. Just out of curiosity, how do you guys get leads at the moment? You know, tonality is something that you will learn later, and it's about in sales. So after that, we go into the Zoom call incentive. So yeah, I mean, if you have time later, we can, I guess, hop on a quick Zoom call. So I'll share my screen and show you what your agent would. This is if you're sending, for example, a receptionist. If you tell them that you do it through AI, what your agent sounds like. So let me see my calendar real quick. Would 7 p.m. tonight work for you? Okay, so what something you will learn once you start marketing your offer, and we do more into the messaging when it comes to emails and mass DMs, is that sometimes you gotta wrap your offer on a different with a different package, different packaging wrap. You may come across as an AI receptionist if that's what people want, but then you actually are sending leads in the backend. You tell them you're doing paper job, but then you on the call you actually tell them you do paper lead. And the truth is, if you get them to open up, get into their pain, and then you get them to trust you and you relate to them and you use the right probing questions and you show that you can deliver the results that they want. They don't care if you're doing it paper lead, paper job, or paper nothing. They just care that you do it. So that's something I will tell you. But yeah, you can read this on your own. Booking question incentive, pre-framing, all very simple. If you're seriously considering cold calling, I recommend doing more research on YouTube. The best thing you can do is watch people in your niche on similar offer, doing cold calling live, and literally just copy their script and work on your tone. I've seen openings recently like, hey, is this name? And then they say, yeah. Okay, do you want the good news or the bad news? And they're like, what? I guess the bad news. The bad news, this is a cold call. The good news, I'm here. I actually did my research and I can give you something valuable. Do you have 2 minutes? Do you want to hang up or do you have a second to talk? Something like that. Another opening. This is a cold. Hey man, this is a cold call. Do you have 30 seconds to hear my offer or would you like to hang up now? And sometimes you get some people to say yes, so that you can pitch your offer. I mean, you're just getting opportunities. You're getting shots. That's all you need right now. You need some shots. You need to be in front of some people, talk with them, have conversations with people in your niche, and start making some money. That's all you need. Okay. So the point is, you don't need to be smart with cold calling. You just get an opening that works, decent script, and then it's a numbers game. The more you put in, the more dials, the more bookings you're going to get out. We did cold calling for about a month, and then we moved on to the second acquisition system, which was mass SMS. Now, SMS is good because SMS marketing has an impressive open rate of 90 to 98%. That is insane compared to emails, for example. Now, we scaled to $10,000 a month in full transparency for the first time past July. So that was July 2025. And that's, as you can see here, how much we made. And it was all through mass SMS. It was all through SMS. The strategy is to use Go High Level to automatically reach out in bulk to 1,000 leads every single day, and then call anyone who replies as fast as possible and book an appointment with them. Obviously, there's some niches where this works better. Other niches does work as well. You're going to have to test it out. You're going to have to do your research. I'm not being all niches in the world. You can't expect me to do that. But I can give you a system that works because it scaled us to $10,000 a month. Now, by now, we've already sent out over 250,000 messages because, as you can see from here, half of these usually are not mobile numbers, half of them are. So we reached out to the other half, 250,000 messages. And we are still sending out to this day every single month, just to increase reach and diversify our system. So let me show you how we actually get this system set up step by step. First of all, again, scraping. We use still Google Maps scraper called Juby15, 15% off. Step number 2, phone validation, clear out phone. And speaking of costs, this is where you really can get a little expensive because, you know, you want to send out at least 1,000 DMs per day, 6 days a week. So let's say you're sending out 7 days a week. Okay. You can expect about 50% of the leads that you scrape to have a mobile number. So you're paying $52 in credits to send out to have 5,000 leads to send out, mobile numbers. And then on Go High Level, the cost per SMS depends on how long the message is. If it costs $0.0079 per segment, and a segment is 160 characters. Now, historically, most of our outreach messages are about 2 segments. So to send out 1,000 SMS, you can expect to spend $15 to $16. So at the end of the month, just sending out the messages is $450 a month to reach 30,000 businesses. And then you gotta put the validation costs, which puts you on about $750 a month total in marketing spend. It's not too bad. At our peak, we were spending $2,000 a month. At our peak, you know, of running SMS, we spent up to $2,000 a month in SMS alone with the validation costs. So it's definitely doable and scalable like that. But when you'll see, especially if you do pay per lead, you will reach a cap on, and that's really the reason we started sending less SMS and moved into other acquisition systems, is because it works good, especially at first with a good offer, but then the offer has been heard, and yes, you can recycle the same leads every 2-3 months, but it's just, at the end of the day, there's only so much TAM, total addressable market, that you can go after in a niche, and you don't want to split yourself thin between so many niches when you do pay per lead, because you want to have a repeatable, predictable cost per lead, as predictable as possible. So that's why we moved a little away from it at first, because after a while, because we ran out of leads. We reached out to the same people too much. Step number 3 is going to be to organize your list. I'm sure you can automate this process with Claude or something, but I do this to keep up with the leads. Okay. After I copy and paste the validated list, and I filter it, I take the whole list, I copy it, paste it in a new sheet like this, paste it here, I remove all the columns that I don't need, and this is what I get out with. And then these I can export and put it directly on Go High Level to actually send out the SMS. I'll show you that in a second. And then I put a check here on the name to know when I reached out to a state, so I don't reach out to that again. And if I ever want to reuse the list, I just take all the checks off 3 months later and re-go through all of it. Now, where was I? Here. That said, SMS automation, all you need to do now is send out the SMS via Go High Level, and this is what the very, very simple workflow looks like. It's super, super simple. Pretty much all you do is you use a tag as trigger, okay? So our tag is mass SMS. Then you have a drip mode here. So drip mode of a batch size of 5 and a drip interval of 1.5 minutes. So every 1.5 minutes, 5 people will go through this list, and every 5 minutes, so every 1.5 minutes, 5 people will receive this SMS. And the SMS, we'll talk about the SMS messages in a second, but this is all you need. And to import someone here on, you gotta go in contacts once you export that list. Okay, so let's do an example live. Okay, import contacts, next, upload, create and update contacts, next. And here's where you map it. So you're gonna have name, phone number, website, and we have no email. So don't import that data, next. All you wanna do is select tag. And boom. And once you click start import, that's when the automation will start, and people will start dripping through the workflow. Now, that done, let's get into the messaging. Now, there's two really messages that you can do. One is straight to the point. So you can have, for example, 2 different segments. They're a little more expensive. You get less replies, but it's easier to book people like that, okay? While the second one is open-ended, so it's cheaper to send because it's going to be one segment, and you will get more replies, but it's heavy on the appointment setting. Imagine you have to do a 2-hour call with someone that answered yes to a very open-ended message, and you have to go through the whole objection handling, pre-framing, stuff like that. It's much harder on the appointment setter. But in your case, you don't want to lead with the pay-per-lead angle. Like I said earlier, you want to wrap it up in a different package. Even if your offer is in fact pay-per-lead, you need to come across as new for them to reply. And you'd be surprised how many calls and SMS these people get every single day. So what's worked well for us is to lead with a only pay if you close the job kind of offer. And then in the meeting we switch to pay-per-lead. And at the end of the day, if you're good at bringing up the pain of the prospect, you're in the phone, whether you're on the phone or in the meeting with them, and you can show them build the trust, show them that you can deliver them the results. They don't really care what you offer. Just do whatever you said you were going to do and deliver the results. That's simple math. And they don't remember the original message anyways. So here's a couple straight to the point message structures that you can use for SMS. The first one is this is name, if direct offer, would that be a fair offer? No statements. So for example, I don't have an example here. So this is Mattia. If I booked you qualified jobs through AI, and you paid me a small fee per appointment, and you paid me a small fee, small percentage per job that you close. Would that be a fair offer? No ad spend, an upfront fee. Something like that. That's what I mean by this template. Or, hi, I know this is random, but I found you on Google and I'm looking for someone to give more estimates to. Okay, you obviously want to make this better. Or just say, and I'm looking, I can get you some jobs, you can only pay me per percentage. Open to chat, then just, I have some proof. And it will either ask you for the proof or say yes, or tell you to fuck off. One of the three. Now for the open-ended messages, you want to pretty much start a conversation. So if you're not good at appointment setting, this one will definitely be harder for you. You might start with a classic bait and switch message like, hey, do you have time for, I don't know, a plumbing appointment in whatever city next week at 5 p.m. And if you get a yes, they think you're a customer now. So you gotta call them and tell them why why you said that. Okay. And you want to call them as soon as possible. So this is what I mean when it's harder on the appointment setting. So a way you can connect is saying that you have some leads in the area and you might have one for that date and time, but you don't have any business that you're working with in the area. So that's why you reached out, for example. Okay. Obviously, you need to be smart. You can't just take this, copy, paste, do it, because everybody in this video can see this. So, Be smart. That's where the edge is. The best messaging, best approach, best offer. That's where the money is made. Obviously, if you are in my Discord or signed up and have the call with me, I can help you for free. That's not a problem. Now, step number 5 is the appointment setting. Now, the appointment setting is the most important part of this whole process. How can you do SMS and book calls if you're not doing appointment setting? And later in the video, in this last section down here, I will show you our exact appointment setting script and everything you need. But we first need to talk obviously about objection handling, framing, and much more so you can get the most out of it. And to be completely transparent right now, I am not the person who's handling sales in our company. My business partner is, and he has a YouTube channel where he will post more about it. So I have his scripts, I have everything, and I have his recordings, but he will be able to give you much better information on this. So if you are, for example, signed up with Go Level through me and you're in Discord and you want to book your call about sales specifically, you can just ask me to book a call with Noah instead of me, my business partner, and you can have a call with him instead of me. Either way, on Discord, there's gonna be both of us. And one thing is that definitely if you've never tried setting to a cold audience on the phone, you might feel a little bit scared and uncomfortable right now. You know, I was like that too, and that's okay. That's a good thing, actually. Every single successful agency owner felt like that at some point. Everyone, from me to Iman Gaj, anyone in between, everybody has done that. And the only difference is that we did it anyway. These guys who are making 300, 400, 500, $1 million a month, they did it anyway. So if you're starting out, you're just gonna do it anyway. So go through the motions, dial the number, regardless of how it goes, follow the script, and improve from there. It's that simple, and it's honestly not that deep. So let's move into cold emails. Now, cold email is the gem that I really wish I discovered sooner. Just because you, probably Gen Z or someone like me, don't communicate via email that much, because I mean, I use WhatsApp, Instagram, normal numbers, stuff like that. It doesn't mean that the businesses you're targeting don't. They actually do. Most are owned by boomers and baby boomers, and they're the #1 email users. And as of today, we're sending out 50 new emails and 50 follow-ups per day. And every morning, Noah, my business partner, wakes up to 10 to 15 positive replies from owners, sending us their number, asking us to call them. Because that's at the end of the day, the whole point of an outreach message. Whether it's via SMS or email, these points I really want to get across. You want them to say yes, meaning, yes, I'll talk to you even though there's a chance you might pitch me something. That's all you need your email to do. And at the end of the sales process, at the end of the day, the sales process will do the rest. Okay. I truly believe that if you can come up with a creative approach, an angle, a message, you can pretty easily close 2 clients per day for pretty much free via email. You don't need any outreach software. You don't need to warm up domains. You don't need lead validation costs. Nothing like that. And like I said, this course is for you to get your first client within the next 3 days. So obviously I wouldn't want you to go through a 14-day email warm up, domain warm up. All you need is a scraping tool, which we already have. You need Claude or ChatGPT, Gmail, and a good appointment setting script. That's all. We'll talk briefly. We've talked a little bit about the appointment setting script earlier in the mass SMS, but full section dedicated to it coming soon. And there's also going to be live appointment setting call and live sales call. So hold up for that. Now, I kid you not, right now, we run our email marketing system for $70 a month, and it closes us more than SMS and ads combined, which is why I stopped my ad campaigns at the moment. I'll tell you why in a second. And it's so simple, this system, that you can set up yourself today. Like I said, everything today. So here's exactly how to set it up A to Z. First of all, scraping tool, same as always, bolt scraper, QB15 for 15% off. List cleanup. For this, you can use ChatGPT to clean up and list and organize the columns. This is the skill that I created for it. I'm not going to read it, like it's pretty long, but you can copy and paste it. All it does is cleans, qualifies, and enriches and exports Google Maps, B2B leads, and that's literally what the skill is. Okay, so based on their business name, based on the category of the niche that you put in the scraping tool, it will remove anyone that doesn't really fit that category or has a website that doesn't look like they actually sell that service, because sometimes you're gonna scrape some people who don't really do that. So we will remove non-matching business, normalize website domains, research the owner's first and last name, and keep only the requested lead columns. So this will prepare your list for the validation, which will come later. It's already validation, it's enrichment, okay? It's finding their personal email. So what I would recommend though for finding first and last name is to use Claude, because I find that to be much more accurate. Right now, for me, it finds the first name of about 55 to 60% of the leads. ChatGPT does way worse than that. So after you go through this skill on ChatGPT, or maybe you put it directly on Claude, use Claude for finding the first and last name separately, and tell it to do it in batches of 10, so it stays accurate. If you give it a 200 lead list and say, hey, reach out to, find me the first and last name, it will find a few and then get lost. Do batches of 10 at a time. Then personal email finder, the next step is to find the personal email of the owner. Now, this step is honestly not 100% necessary, but personal company emails have a higher reply rate. So in my opinion, if you're sending out emails consistently, this is worth $50 a month. I use Lead Magic. I started recently, and personally, for me, it finds about 20% of the leads that I give it with a first and last name. So let's say you have 100 leads, 60 have a first name, 40 have both first and last name, and 8 will have a personal company email, because you'll find 20% of these 40. So if you have 1,000 leads, you will get 80 personal emails, and those will go better. They will have a higher reply rate than other emails. And that's why I said, it's not 100% needed. We're not talking about 90% of leads are going to be through Lead Magic, but I think for me, it's worth it. Okay. However, note numbers do vary by niche. Obviously, we're not targeting those niches, but if we were to target the finance niche, it would be much different, because it's, I think, different. Like most, for example, for me, residential companies, residential constructors, they don't really care about having a personalized sending domain and their own personal email, but other companies, more corporate, definitely do. So all you have to do is upload your cleared up list to the tool, and it will find the emails and spit out the new list with their personal email. Then give it back to AI and tell it to delete every row that has no email at all. That means that if there wasn't an email already on your Google Business profile and no personal email was found, it's pretty much useless to have that row, because you're only reaching out via email. Next thing, keep only the columns you need, and then you can start outreaching. For the sending domain, like I said, you don't need one. You can start sending out from a warm Gmail account. Make sure it's personal, not a content account. And in the future, if you want, you can get domains and send out with volume, but that's not the game you want to play at first. A warm Gmail account allows you to safely at first send out 50 emails a day. Just don't send more than 15 per hour, not 50 scheduled at the same time. And boom, that's all you need to get 10 to 15 replies per day. That's simple. I definitely recommend using 2 accounts. So in one, you send 50 new emails a day, and in the other one, you send 50 follow-ups every day, because follow-ups are important. Do not neglect them. I actually saw, I did an analysis of our campaign with GPT earlier, and 27% of our bookings from email came through follow-ups. So you're missing out on a third of the appointments if you don't do follow-ups. At least one. I'm only doing one, really. So send one after 24 hours. Now the email, okay? Oh boy, this is where the money's at. Let me tell you. You'll probably be wondering, when is he going to show us his email, right? Where is this 20%, all these crazy booking rates and stuff, okay? Now, the brutal honest answer is, I won't show you my email. I won't show you my email. No. And not because I'm a bad person and I want to gatekeep value, but because if I share it on YouTube for free, it will completely lose its value. The best thing I can do for you right now, trust me, it's gatekeep an email that's working and give you the right information to inspire you and give you ideas to come up with your own great, unique, original, even better email. Because trust me, you can do it. Like, one thing that I had when I looked for the first time into this to this acquisition system was this kind of anxiety of finding the best email, this great email. And I thought it was hard. Every email has already been used, all these emails have already been used. Trust me, you can come up with a good email. You can do it like I did it. It's much easier than you think. You just got to follow a couple logical steps and think about it the right way. Okay. So I'll start that process to help you create your own email with asking you a few questions. So you want to write down your answers. And if you don't know the answer, you need to do more research. That's simple. You definitely don't understand your ICP well enough yet. So first question, what notification would they open instantly or get a dopamine rush from? For an e-com owner, it's a new sale notification. For me, agency owner, it's a new booked call notification or new lead notification. For traders, it's an order field notification. What is it for your ICP? Think about it. Think about it. That's your foot in the door. That's how you get in. Now, what does the most common sales email they receive sound like? Do you know? You need to know. Check your market, do your niche, do your research, use AI, I don't care what you do. Third, what sales messaging are they exposed to every single day? On Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, anything they watch when someone tries to sell them something, what do they see every day? You need to know that to stand out from the competition. So start by getting very clear answers to these questions. And then here's a good email structure you can start from. Hey, first name. Then you give them a logical excuse for sending the email that, in my experience, lowers sales resistance. So I'm reaching out because I found you on Google, or I called you but didn't work, or your number on your website is wrong, or whatever, something like that. An excuse to reach out. Then you want to give them your offer, so that you attached something as proof, whatever that something is. Human touch, and then why you reach human touch is going to be something like, I know this is random, something that makes you come across as human. And then you tell them why you reach out to them and why they should answer fast. This makes the email credible and creates FOMO. For example, I'm reaching out to you because I'm not working with anyone in the area, and I'll need someone by tomorrow. And this deal is gonna be available only for tomorrow. And I reach out to 30 people in your area, so you need to reach out to answer fast. Anything like that. CTA, what you want me to do? What do you want them to do? Call to action. For us, we ask them to send us their number or tell us yes, and we'll call them so that we can have a conversation with them. And then the signature. Obviously, this is just one of the many cold email templates that you can find out and pick between. It's just one that works well for us. All you gotta do is stay under 100 words, and after you're done, whatever email template you use, make sure, regardless of the template, that the email checks out all of these boxes. Does it sound like I only sent this email to this person? Does it sound like I just typed it real quick without too much thought behind it? You want to sound casual, you want to sound personal. In fact, then you want to say, is the what's in it for me clear for the other person? If it's not clear what's in it for them, they'll never answer. Does it feel human? Do I come across as a real person or as a robot or as a corporate company? And that's why you want to reach out from your personal email with your name and last name and not from a company email. Is the reason they should answer now clear? Okay, if it's not, they will not have any FOMO. They need to answer right now, and the reason for them must be clear. Have attached some sort of proof. Without proof, there's no trust. They don't know you or like you or trust you, and you need to put a little bit of that. Now, next thing, connect your Gmail to AI. Once you get the leads, the emails are ready. The most time-consuming task is definitely sending out the emails. At first, I did it manually. Then I just created a simple skill on ChatGPT. Just look on YouTube if you don't know how to do it. It's super simple. Connect it to your Claude or ChatGPT. That's super simple. And then you just tell it to a script you want to use, what you want to personalize. You give it your leads list with the custom values like a first name, last name, email, whatever, and you turn it into a skill. And in 2 minutes, it will literally draft all the emails so you can schedule them and boom. 9 to 1 p.m. is my preferred sending time. 4 to 6 p.m. preferred appointment setting time. Appointment setting, again, we'll talk about it properly very, very soon. But your question you probably have is, why do you need to do appointment setting on the phone if you're sending out emails? I've not seen anyone do that. Yeah, that's a fair question. Most people don't do that, but we do. The reason is that if you want to send a good email, think about it. One that spikes interest and get a high response rate. You usually don't just say, I sell leads to businesses. Can you take an extra 10 to 15 jobs per month? That would be too direct, so little intrigue. That will get low reply rates and low interest. It is true that those people who are interested one in a million will probably want to hop, not a million, I'm exaggerating, 1 in 1,000 will probably want to hop on a meeting right away, and maybe you'll even close pretty easy, but it's 1 in 1,000. It would take you, at this rate, 20 days? Yeah, 20 days to get one call. We're looking for more than that, okay? And like I said, I'm getting 15 replies, 10 to 15 replies every day with 50 messages and 50 follow-ups. So you want to do better than that. It's too low of a hit rate, but an easy conversion to meeting, meaning that you need a high volume to get the same amount of replies. And the Gmail system simply is not fit for that. You need to change system, all of your domains, do all that kind of stuff, and then you can send out 1,000 emails a day and get 1 to 2 calls every day. Now, when you send an intriguing new high FOMO email, on the other hand, like we want to send out, you will have people that will answer yes or positively, but with so many questions that it will pretty much be impossible for you to convert them to a meeting without calling them. And that's exactly what we call them. On the phone, you really, and really only then, you have the opportunity to build rapport, make them open up, find their pain, magnify it, answer any questions or objections, and then you can book them on the calendar for a meeting. So that's why our call to action is about giving us permission to call them, and we don't just send the link and tell them to book via email. There's just so much trust that needs to be built, pain that needs to be discovered before these people will be ready to hop on a call, which is why appointment setting is so important. And in my opinion, honest, humble opinion, that's the only way you can make this work without sending a massive volume of emails out. Otherwise, go with another system, not this one, but that would not be beginner friendly, and that would not be ready in 3 days. So now, paid ads. Paid ads is very important. This that I'm going to tell you is everything that I learned after spending $12,000 in paid ads alone, just for client acquisition, okay, over the past year for the agents. I first started running the ads last August 2025, so less than a year ago, after we made $10,000 in July. So I do not recommend running ads before you're making at least $5,000 a month in net profit and are willing to spend a minimum of $3,000 per month. I'm personally not going to run ads for my agency until I can comfortably spend $6,000 a month. Now, why is that? And that's because I realized that email, cold calls, and SMS are like a shotgun. Wide hitting area, mid to short range, great for small animals. Even if one of the thousands of pieces of the bullet of a shotgun hits the animal, you got yourself a prey. You're gonna hit dinner. Easy. Ads, on the other end, are like a sniper, and your creatives are a 50 caliber bullet, like this big boy right here. You wouldn't use that to hunt chickens, right? No, you use it for bears, elks, and overall big animals. Not just because it's big enough to take the animal down and you need something big for those guys, but also because they're freaking expensive. So the meat that you get in return, the animal, needs to be worth it. A single bullet like that can costs literally over $6, $6 to $9. I can buy a roasted chicken for $6. Matter of fact, that's what I got today for lunch. And I don't have to hunt it or cook it myself. So logically, it wouldn't make sense for me to spend that for a chicken, to go hunt the chicken, okay? So in clients' terms, back to the clients, not in hunting terms, ads are the best at attracting whales, big clients. I'm talking about companies that have 15, 30K a month in budget to spend on leads alone. That's what you need. Clients who want volume and send you messages like this. What do you need for me to get us up to that $20,000 a month budget with ready to buy customers? He's asking me, how can I spend more money with you? Most agencies dream about this. And yes, the truth is there really are people that exist like this, but you don't, do that usually through emails, and through cold calling, you don't get to them, and SMS don't get to them. You need to run ads. And once you do attract these people through ads, you'll see that they're actually much easier to attract and convert than your average Joe. Everybody knows that low-paying clients are also the biggest pain in the ass, and high-paying clients are easier to work with. So you just need right now to have enough money to buy that sniper and afford the bullets, which is why I want to wait until I have 6K a month so to spend just on ads, so I can spend $300 a day, get one call per day, and have a guy like that who's willing to spend 10, 20K. That's honestly, in my opinion, the only good move for ads as a beginner. Okay, if I went back, yes, I made a lot of money through ads. Our August, our first 30K month last year came through ads, pretty much, most of it, all of it, pretty much. And that was a great return on investment, considering we only spent 12K total. Then month, maybe we spent 3K and we made 30K, including the backend revenue from the clients that we generated with that campaign. So it's great. But if I went back, I would go into emails. I would go double down into SMS, something like that. So on a second note, obviously, I would not go for big clients before having service delivery dialed in, testimonials, and a good stack of social proof, because you're just going to waste money. These people want to see the social proof. These people want to see a good dialed in service, and you need to be good at closing them. So the same way you never hunt bears, if you've never been hunting before, because it's pretty dangerous, you wouldn't want to get into big whales right away. So with that in mind, this is how you want to structure your campaigns, starting with the ad creatives. So as we clearly define already, the goal of our ads is to attract big clients. For that reason, I recommend creating a new ICP document fully tailored to the whale client persona. So not just dentists, for example, but dentists above $2 million a year and with over $10,000 a month in marketing budget, because they think very differently than your average dentist. There's small companies in the same industry. I mean, instead of bargaining on price, they'll ask you how fast you can start delivering. Instead of telling you that they want to test you out, they'll ask you how much fun you can handle per month. So you need to speak exactly to what they want. Now, the most important thing with these guys is to be direct in your ads. Say exactly what you'll do for them, show proof, and then how the process of working with you works. That's it. That's simple. Sure, you still need to make sure that the offer sounds new and persuasive, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel at all. It doesn't need to be this flashy thing. So I'm not going to get into ad creatives that is proven, and that if you're in a position to afford it, you can plug into your business in as little as 24 hours. So I know this video is about starting, but if you have the cash and you want to get this going, get these whales, you can do it, okay? And even if you can't afford it right now, eventually, believe me, you will scale, and you need to believe it yourself. So you should still watch this section for when the time comes, because it's super, super valuable. And if you're completely new to ads, I'll be very transparent. These, creating winning ads is a complex task. It's a complex task. It's not something that someone learns in a day. And I will not take on in this course this task of teaching you exactly how to create everything about winning ads. It's something I've been learning for the past 3-4 years. And also there's other videos on this channel that go deeper about, just about ads, and I will go deeper in it. I will post more about it in the next videos. But for now, before you write any script for ads, I do think even for emails, even for everything, or anything copy, anything sales message, you should buy and read this small, quick book called Take Their Money by Kyle Milligan. That book will change the way you look at words, the words you use, will literally change. You'll look at the words you use in a different way. After reading it, you'll be able to look past the actual words, and instead you'll have the skill to go deeper and see the true intentions behind these words. And with practice, you learn how to use them to evoke the right emotions in the viewer and reader and persuade them to take the action you want, which is copywriting, by the way. This channel was dedicated to copywriting, so I have a lot of background on that. So let's start with winning ad formats, okay? So do you want to do picture ads or video ads, UGC ads or spokesperson, AI avatars? What about AI pictures with Higgs field? There's so many options out there nowadays, and the reason it can feel overwhelming is that they all work. That's the problem. It's not like one is shit and the other one is there. No, they all work. So it's true, you'll find people who had success with all of the ad formats above. But my job here is to use my personal experience and knowledge to go straight for the best converting one, to attract those high spenders that we want to attract. And when we put it like that, I'm going to say they all work the same. It's very easy for me to pick the best format, and that is direct response, talking head video,
ads with the founder as spokesperson. That is what you need to do. So let's break it down. Direct response just means that you're going to ask them to take an action in the ad. Any direct response sales, direct response copy, direct response marketing, that's all that is. You're asking them to take an action. You're not just doing awareness, showing them your brand logo. Hopefully they remember it, but you want them to take an action right there and then. Most likely clicking the button below. And then talking head simply means that you record the ad with a fixed phone or camera and you'll be looking right into the camera, kind of reporter style. Kind of like if this was in a loom, this would be talking head. I'm sitting down, the camera is still looking at you straight in the eyes and I'm talking. The intro was a talking head, okay? And you will be the one to speak because you are the spokesperson. But can't you just use AI for the avatar? The answer is yes, you could, but in my humble experience, my ads always performed better than with an AI avatar. Now, don't get me wrong, it can still work, but it's not necessary if you can record yourself. Think about it. If you were looking for a lead generation company to spend $10,000 to $20,000 a month with, okay, like these high spenders are, would you trust an AI avatar, or would you want to see the founder putting his face on it? Right. You would put the founder. So next, let's address something you're probably giving too much importance to right now, which is, I guarantee you're putting too much importance to this. That's editing. You definitely don't need to spend any money animating your ads or making the editing look super clean. None of that. That's not what the big clients care about. Not at all. My best performing ads are in squared format with me talking over canvas slides, just like this. Okay, as I speak, the words change and I show some stuff. Nobody's doing it. It's super easy and it works. Okay, and I'll show you actually one soon, or maybe not. I don't think I'll show you the script, but I don't have the video pulled up. But it's in this format right here. But now that we got the small stuff out of the way, let's get into the big stuff. How to write 50 caliber ad scripts. I like the sound of that. Okay, we're gonna take down a bear, a whale, an elk with that. Okay, so like I already said, I can't get into the exact psychology behind everything in ads because that would take us another 5 hours and that would go past the purpose of this video. Also considering how many people here will probably start with the ads right away. So I have this free course on this channel so far. I will put more, but this goes deeper into the psychology behind it. And if you're interested in running ads, definitely watch that. Even for service delivery, if you know you're gonna get your clients leads through ads, for example, we do it through meta ads, watch that video because that psychology still ties into B2C ads. Every sort of ad script, you will need to know all of that. So I would just say after this, if you have some time, go into it. It's a couple of years old, but the good thing about copywriting is that human psychology doesn't change. Offers, angles, and unique mechanisms do, but not the structure of a winning script. Okay, so here's an example from one of my recent successful ads that I ran for my agency. Style, talking head, I was the spokesperson, editing, canvas slides, format, squared, setting, where I live, headline, no headline. So, niche call out. Instead of paying for shared leads or hiring an agency to gamble with your money, how would you like to offer? You see, after helping over 90 people just like you don't want to say people, you want to say, for example, dentists, just like you, generate over 4,000 qualified leads and close hundreds of jobs, we found a new way to fill up your calendar with real homeowners without you paying for any upfront fees, ad spend, monthly retainers, $297 a month AI systems. These are known statements. So all alternatives that they might pick or tried in the past, or things they're considering, or things they don't like, or any of that BS. And if you give me 15 seconds, I'll explain to you exactly how it works. Then we have a first, next, then structure. So here's how we explain our mechanism, which means that if your face-to-face close rate on appointments is anywhere above 6%, it's mathematically impossible for you to be unprofitable working with us. But don't take it from me. Look at our clients' results. Here we're going to proof. Why would client one spend almost 20K with us over the past 4 months if it was unprofitable? He wouldn't. In fact, he's on 2.3x profit ROI, and he scaled his business from 40K a month in February to 145K in April. Same thing with client number 2. Whatever. You can see more proof on the next page, but we had no crazy contracts or hidden fees. All those known statements, think that they don't want the opposite of benefits. Okay, so downsides of other alternatives. You just pay for what you get, and if you're not happy, you're free to leave. So if you'd like to apply, call to action, click below to speak with us and see if this is for you. Now, let's do some fun work and break down the script line by line. Okay, so here, what are we doing here? Instead of paying for shared leads or hiring an agency to gamble money, what we're saying here, after we call out who we want to talk to, we always need to do that in ads. We need to tell them, instead of common alternative, instead of something you heard all the time, instead of something you hate, how about this new offer? That's why it's hooking. Here we want to put some authority and social proof. So after helping X people in your niche, just like you, so after helping over X people is authority. So build social proof, trust, and then you see just like you. Here we're tapping into the emotion of the alter ego of anybody. Anybody means it's so easy that anybody can do it. If you read the book by Kyle Milligan, Take Their Money, you'll see that. Generate over XX qualified leads. Again, that's desirable outcome, and big, a lot of leads. Desirable outcome, big, and builds trust. We found a new way, emotion of new. It needs to come across as new to fill up your calendar with real homeowners without all the other things. You already said these are non-statements. So alternatives to your offer or things that tried in the past and didn't work. And what this does is it gives them hope. That's all it does. The emotion is of hope. You give them hope that there's might be something out there, a new way to fulfill their desire through us. So that's why they keep watching. And if you give me 15 seconds, I'll tell you exactly how it works. Now here, there's not too much emotion, as you'll see here in the breakdown. The simplest breakdown would be these. So first mechanism, step number 1 and its benefits. Next, mechanism number 2 and its benefits. And then mechanism number 3 and its benefits. What some people do is before getting into the mechanism, they'll put a call to action here. So call to action number 1. So click down here if you want to learn more. And if you give me 15 seconds, I'll tell you exactly how it works. So at least if someone is ready to click, you already tell them what the action is and they will go. While if someone needs more information, is not ready, they will keep watching. So after that, you want to get into some proof of ROI or predictable outcome. So that's where I said, which means that if your face-to-face close rate on appointments is anywhere above 6%, it's mathematically impossible for you to be unprofitable working with us. What that does, it creates trust. It tells them it's safe and predictable, which are two very important emotions in Kyle Milligan's system. Then social proof, case study 1 and case study 2 are testimonials. And you can see we're proof in the next page, but we have no common downsides or alternatives. So if you'd like to apply, just click the link below, and that's the final call to action. So you now have everything you need to write your first winning ad today. Just test 2 or 3 different hooks. In that video, I go over how to create more hooks, different hook styles, what works. So all you have to do is, first of all, use the info in your ICP sheet and just fill out the template. It's that simple. And that's why you always need to have your ICP market sheet. Like I said, you already have the template up here. And if you're familiar with running ads, you know that the creative is literally 90% of the work. So I won't get into how to set up a campaign on Meta because that's always changes. There's tons of videos of that. And there's so many updates that come out and it doesn't even matter. But this, what you just learned, that template, that script, that's forever. Okay, when you just learn this forever, it will convert in any market, any niche, any offer. You just have to adapt it. So regardless of what stage your agency is at nowadays, you now know how easy it is to write ads that attract and convert to big spenders. So you can have the confidence that after you get your first clients, you want to have that push to get to $40,000 a month, where you can spend easily $6K a month in ads, because that's where you go to the next level. When you have information like this and you run ads, and you just, start tracking those big whales like we have done. Okay, so that's done. Let's look at the final piece of the client acquisition puzzle before getting into sales, which is content. Now, I included content in the client acquisition chapter because although it's very unlikely to help you acquire clients on its own, especially in the local business niche, it magnifies everything else that you do. So, or more than magnifies, I heard Alex Ramoni say something about this the other day, it lubricates everything. Your whole acquisition system gets lubricated with content. So every ad you run, every SMS you send, every email, every conversation you have, anything, you have a higher chance of closing when you have content, and it's easier for you to close when you have content. By content, I mean any public piece of content, of video or image, that provides value, shows proof, and builds trust. Whether your ICP is mostly on Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube, you absolutely want to have content out there. Definitely focus on one. Don't split yourself too thin. Uh, Focus on building one channel. So if that's YouTube, if you want to go all in on YouTube, just only post videos on YouTube and stay consistent with that. For us in our agency, that's Instagram and Facebook. That's together, right? It's one account. We share both at the same time. And our goal and what we try to do is stay consistent and post 2 reels on per week, so that people see that we are live and active as we reach out to new people, as new people find us, as we get referrals and stuff like that. So as you can see, this video get 200 to 500 views each, but I guarantee you they help us close more clients. So first of all, not many agents, why? First of all, not many agency owners are confident enough to speak on a camera like I do and record themselves. So if you do, then alone, it gives you an edge. Secondly, and builds trust. Secondly, very few have a good camera, microphone, a good recording environment. So that also gives you an edge. And finally, even fewer know how to script and communicate the information in a clear and valuable way. So when you do that, you have another edge, and people, you had to decide who to pick between, they pick you over the other person because you have all of this. So if you can do that, you'll be setting yourself apart from all the other agencies already. I definitely think the most valuable, the most successful agencies, they all have content on Instagram. Even if it gets 2 views, they all have content. And why do you think they do that? Because it works. So you have time right now. You're not running a $1 million a month company. You have time. You can post some content. What to post? Testimonials, case studies, founder stories, breakout videos. You can literally take those, put them in your the ones you have in your confirmation page, put them on Instagram, and maybe edit them a little bit or redo them with a better, tighter script. Objection handling videos, ROI calculations. Simple. Here's an example. Talking head, Mattia, Loom style. Format is squared, at home in the meeting room. The angle is ROI of leads, ICP, residential contractors. Link in bio to have a chat with us is the call to action. So most contractors think paying for leads is a sustainable way to grow their business until they do the math. Let's assume you're a fencing contractor and you have a $5,000 a month to spend on leads. Say your average fence installation is $7,000 and you have a 30% profit margins. Our clients convert 90% of the leads into appointments, and of those estimates, say you have an average 30% close rate. Now, considering a $70 cost per exclusive qualified lead, at the end of the month, you find yourself with so much in revenue and so much in net profit, which is net return on your investment. And trust me when I say that these numbers are conservative. We have clients closing 60%, just like Eric right here, already closed 3 of the 5 appointments from our leads. When you say shit like this, you always need to show proof. So that's what I would do in the video. And if you could do that, that would put you on excess returns on your investment. And that doesn't include the additional value that a new customer brings into your business, like referrals, reviews, and so forth. So if you're even remotely interested, click the link in bio to get the full info and book a time to speak with us. Simple, okay? And editing, I will just, while I go over this, I will just show on a Loom style, like this is a Loom style. I will show the ROI tracking sheet that I showed you earlier in the offer, where I can show how much their marketing budget is, cost per lead, and stuff like that. And that's super, super simple. Will it get views? No. Will it work and convert better for me, lubricate my whole system? Yes. So that's really it. Now, the final type of content that you want to consistently be creating and leverage is obviously the one in your funnel that you should already have, and that's breakout videos. Those videos based on how sales goes, based on your close rate, based on the calls that you have, you will get more ideas for breakout videos. And as those ideas come up, you want to make more of those videos. Again, post them on Instagram, post them on YouTube, but make that type of video because they're a key part of your sales process, and you will definitely benefit from posting that on YouTube specifically. But for example, your ICP is on your LinkedIn, post them there. Okay. So that said, we can now get into sales. If you're tired, if you need a break, if you need to assimilate all this information, take a little break, take 5-10 minutes. I will do the same, to be honest. And then we'll get into sales because there's still a lot that we need to cover if you want to close your first client within 3 to 7 days. So let's get straight into that.
All right, so let's carry on, shall we? Now, obviously, you can't close clients unless you're somewhat decent at sales. Now, to be clear, I want to be very, very clear here. The point of this video, this section of the video, is not to turn you into a top tier closer. Obviously, there's people with videos hours and hours and hours long just about sales. You should watch hours and hours and hours worth of sales calls to become good at it. But the point of this video is to give you just as much information as you can grasp and the confidence you need to close your next client and start scaling within the next 3 to 7 days. And like I mentioned before, my business partner is the one who's mainly in charge of sales in our company. So if this is the area that you really like to get the most help with, you can book the free 30-minute consultation call that you get once you join my Go High Level thing with him instead of me. So you guys can talk about sales, or you can just ask him questions in the chat for free. So now we're going to look at appointment setting. So framework, script, and an appointment setting call, and then sales call. So framework, script, and a live sales call. So I say let's get started with appointment setting. Now, as you've seen so far in this video, appointment setting plays a crucial role when it comes to scaling the agency, regardless of what acquisition system you pick. Even if you go with paid ads, you still need to call the leads that come in and do a discovery call with them. So you follow pretty much the same techniques that you would follow in an appointment setting call. So here's the exact structure and script that you can adapt and follow for your offer. So we start with an opener. So we just want to open a conversation. Easy. Hey, is this name? Perfect. Yeah, this is Mattia. I'm calling about, and then you mention the offer that you said either in your SMS, in your email, in your ads. Do you recall that? And they say yes. Cool. To be honest, I reached out because we're getting very good demand in the area, but our guys are booked out and are able to handle it. So we've been looking for a solid crew that can take on the work, or any other angle that you've been using for your specific offer. So for us, it's for construction companies. So this is the angle that we use when we do our opening. Then we're gonna do probing questions. So these are gonna be questions that are meant to find out more about their situation, find out more about their pain, to then eventually go into the problem discovery where we have them pretty much tell us what the problem is. So they identify it. So probing questions, Joshua, cool. So do you mind if I ask you a few questions to better understand if we can actually help you? So what are you doing right now to get more jobs, or how long have you been running that? And we just ask these questions to get as much context and much information as we can from them and build this rapport, this little connection. Obviously, I definitely recommend looking up on YouTube probing questions. Sales, look for people like Jeremy Miner, look for the best of the best and learn sales from them. But this is what we're using as an example. So then we're gonna do problem discovery. So, I mean, if method that they're using isn't bad, but what you go, you're looking at something else right now, okay? And then if they whatever answer they say, we want to go a little deeper. So we go into something like meaning what? We ask them questions like that to get more and more out of them and have them pretty much tell us the problem and the pain. Then we transition into the call. Obviously, the goal of the appointment setting call is to book a sales call with them. So, okay, so where do you want to be in 6 months from now? How far do you think you are from there? Right, man. Here's what I think I could. Here's what I think I could help based on what you told me about problem that they said. I feel like there's a real possibility we could help you get there. What I want you to do is connect you with Noah, who is the sales rep, and he can dive deeper into where you are versus where you want to be. Not the sales rep. We make him come across as the sales rep, but he's the business partner, the person who's in charge of sales. If we think we can help, he'll walk you through what that would look like. How does that sound? And they usually say sounds good. So we just book a call with them and done. It's as simple as that. And now I'm going to show you one or two live appointment setting calls. I'm going to put them right here on screen. Let's go. Ellen.
Hey Jay, can you hear me, man? This is
Yeah.
Tia. Yeah, I had sent you, that you recall that?
This morning.
Yeah, this morning. Yeah. So I mean, pretty much what it is, man, full transparency is like we have a guy down in the area and he's getting a bit booked up. So I know he really couldn't take that appointment, that estimate. So we've just been scrambling around, like, trying to see guys who can actually, like, take on the work, do good work, and handle it. So like, would you say like you're open for like availability on the 30th, like can take on the work?
You're talking about to go just look at it on the 30th?
Yeah, it's on the
I
30th
think I
for
saw.
the estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30 at 5.
Yeah, for 5.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, do you think you'd be like available around that time?
I could probably do that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, just want to make sure. But I mean, aside from that, obviously we want to vet our guys, make sure that, if I'm giving it from my client to someone else, I want to speak with them. So, I mean, what time would you say would be a decent time for us to connect, like just in a bit more detail, so like we can go over the scope of the project, just sort of like what I've been doing for my guy down the area, things like that. Like, I mean, I have some time, like either tomorrow or Monday. Just let me see, like, sort of what fits in both of our calendars.
I mean, what kind of business do you run? I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, you just find leads and you sell them, or how does that work?
Yeah, so how it works is like I essentially, like, I run an exclusive lead gen business, and I work with 1 to 2 contractors per area. So when I reach out to you, I work with a guy in the area. We get about 20 to 30 leads a month. And like, it's very custom. So like, since it's not a huge company, if they get backed up, they'll be like, hey, we need to turn leads off for right now, because obviously I can't take on all the work. I want to get a few things settled. If they're traveling, you know how it is. Like, or if there's any reason for them to stop, we stop. And then obviously I want to keep the demand running in the area, so I've just been reaching
Mhm.
out, if that makes sense.
Sure. I mean, do you pay per lead, or do you pay? How does that work?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a per lead basis. What that essentially means is that we qualify them. I don't know if you saw, but we budget qualify them, urgency and homeowner address. So once they're all qualified, it really depends on how strict you want the filtering, but our leads are anywhere between, like, I would say 70 to 80, and then our average return on ROAS. So that means after considering, your margins, yeah, after your labor, everything, that materials, let's say you're around 30 to 40% on average. What we're seeing
Are
after
you talking about closing?
Oh, no, I'm talking about your
What's 30,
your
40?
your profitability. So I'm saying, like, we're seeing usually our guys have anywhere between 30 to 40% profitability on average. And I'm saying with that, we're seeing at around a 2.5 to 4x return on, essentially, return on lead spend. So anywhere between a 2.5 to 4x is what our usual guys get after considering all their margins and then what they pay us, if that makes sense. But again, I can go into a bit more detail. Uh,
So you don't really you don't control pricing, all right?
Sorry, one more time.
You don't control pricing. I mean,
Yeah, I don't,
what
I
you
don't,
do
I
is
don't control pricing. No, I just have them prepared for the quote price essentially beforehand, if that makes sense. So let's say I sell a lead, for $70, right? I get that lead in for either 40 or $50, and then I sell it to one of my guys. So that's essentially what I was doing with my guy down in the area, and he would go out, he would give the quote, and essentially, like, that's how our entire structure works. And I guess the biggest niche about us is that we don't share our leads, and then also the fact that, hey, I just want to make sure that these guys who actually come in, they have the money. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, the biggest thing is, do they have the money and are they ready to move forward in a reasonable time frame? Like, would you agree?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
So yeah.
Um,
But
the price of the lead is dependent upon the price of the project,
no,
or how does that work?
no, it's just
It's a set
simply,
price.
yeah, it's simply between 70 to 80. Not
Okay.
not depending on anything. So like, if you had a really big job, we're not going to charge you more for it, Nick. That's your money. You're the one doing the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm technically in Asheville. I mean, I'm from the Gastonia area, but I
Oh,
live in Asheville
gotcha.
now. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not. My supplier's actually in Gaston County, so I could kind of work out possibly depending
Mhm.
on what kind of fence it is and stuff.
No, I
But
gotcha. I
I
gotcha.
mean, do you think is it possible that you could find something in this area?
Yeah, I would say that's more than probable. I mean, like, that's essentially our job. So how we actually get these leads is based off of zip codes. So you give me the zip codes you'd like to market in, you let me know the ones that you would like to exclude, and then that's exactly, that's how we provide them. But I think it would be very applicable for you, like, if like I said, we hop on a call, just show you a bit more things in detail, a bit of the, like, the pudding of what we've been getting for our guy. And I mean, yeah, I would say anytime tomorrow or Monday would work decently for me.
All right. I mean, you're just saying that we'll just conversate more about with more details of what it takes. And I mean, I don't know. Do you have a credit card on hand, or do you I just pay you? How does that work? Or do you just
Yes.
want to talk about that later, or
Yeah,
what's
I
the
mean,
deal?
it would be more ideal, but I mean, I have no problem answering your questions. Like, I am a bit on a time crunch, but
Yeah.
essentially, like, how it is we're very performance based. Like, I want to make sure that the leads I provide to you, we scale up. So meaning, what that means is that how I set up my contract structure is from the first 2 to 3 leads. If you don't like my leads, then there's no reason you should work with me. So just to give you a bit of a breakdown of how we work, we don't share our leads. All of our leads are we have an
I'm
contract
not
structure.
competing with somebody else. When
Yeah,
I pay for a
exactly.
lead, it's mine.
It's yours. And the second thing is that we're very, very big on you don't pay for garbage. So if you can't get a hold of a person, if it's not within your area, if they don't actually want a fence, then you shouldn't pay
Yeah.
$70 for that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah, those are our structures. And then the last thing is like they're scaling with you. I know if I can get you work and you're closing on them, it's a business relationship at the end of the day. So if you're getting work and you're closing on them, then obviously, you're going to pay me for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have been looking for work, so that sounds good. I would like to find somebody reputable, and Angie. I mean, that a lot of the things that you said kind of answer some questions about. So I've
Mhm.
considered Angie's, and Angie's is kind of the opposite of that. It's not. I'm competing with other people if I go with Angie's, and
Mhm.
just stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, the thing how Angie's and why they have you competing with other people, I mean, the truth is like Angie's can get good leads, but the reason that they do that is because I mean they make more money selling it to everyone. Like whereas,
Yeah,
we're not as we're not as large as them, so our advantage comes in the fact that, people don't want to work with Angie's, they don't want to deal with shared leads. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I don't want small like little jobs. Like you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like
Yeah.
if it's I noticed the one that you sent was it's a small fence, 100 to 200 feet. So that's okay. I mean that's not terrible. I mean I can make money on that, but
Yeah,
I'm not trying to do repairs, and I don't want crap job. So,
I totally agree with you, and I'm very happy about that. We mainly just shoot for full fence installations, and the reason for that is because the lead price, if I'm being honest with you, brother, like the lead price is the exact same thing for repairs versus the full installations, and the full installations they're just worth so much more of a bang for your buck. Like if you're getting a project size between 6 to 8K, and you have 30 to 40% margins, and it's $70 on the lead, and you're closing at around 40%, and like we're profitable and we're doing 2 to 3x. Like that's really where we want to be.
sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
So
Would you just text me your name and maybe your business name and
yeah, I'm gonna send you over.
is this a cell phone number?
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you over all
All right,
that
cool.
info via email, and then you want to say we can maybe shoot for around maybe this time either tomorrow or Monday. 4:30 p.m.
Yeah, let's shoot Monday. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. You want to say 4:30, 4:35?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so I'll get you in for 4:30 or 5 p.m. I'll send you the calendar invite. But what I'll also do is, well, you said you may like you can possibly take that lead down in in Gastonia, or would you like for me to just maybe, well, what would you like to do with that? So I'll have to
What kind
call
of
them.
fence is it? Do you have any idea what kind of fence it is?
Yeah, it's gonna be 200. I would say 100 to 200 foot, wood privacy fence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can I just talk to you on Monday about that, or do you
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can wait till Monday. So what I'll do is I'll send you over all of our info in regards to email. If you can check it out, that'd be great. And then the last thing I want to say, man, we're both business owners. We know how it is with no shows. Like if your time isn't available on Monday or something come up, I would appreciate you tell me because my calendar is packed. So you can just tell me beforehand and let me know if anything comes up. Just respect.
Sure. Yeah, the same about leads too. I mean, I definitely tend to respect that because I appreciate good leads. So
I got you, man. So yeah, looking forward to speaking with you on Monday, man. 4:30 or 5 p.m.
yeah, that sounds good. So you're just gonna email to the email that we talked to on earlier,
Yeah.
and then if you just text me your name on here, then I'll just save your contact.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll do that. No problem.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you.
All right, let me text you in there. Let me see you. Perfect. Talk to you then.
And once you got the appointment setting down, we want to get into the sales call. Now, closing sales calls shouldn't be too hard for you if you selected the right model and the right offer. Should be pretty easy, much easier than closing a retainer offer. And once you manage to get people on a call with you, it should be fairly easy to close. So below, I'll share the exact framework and script that we use literally right now in the company, so you can copy paste it for your offer, adapt it, and then we'll look at a live close that has closed hundreds of dollars upfront as an upfront fee. So we'll see what that is. You'll see how much that is on the call. And after watching this video, you want to create your own script tailored to our tailored to your specific offer, tip, and niche. Okay, so keep in mind that the script is not meant to be followed word by word, and it should just serve as a guideline of what you're gonna follow, and specifically, especially a logic guideline of the stages, not even so much of the questions, but the stages of the conversation. Okay, so let's get started into it. First one is the connection stage. Okay, so you say something like, "Hey, name, this is Mattia from Rome Acquisition. It looks like you recently booked a call on our calendar about possibly getting help with your marketing systems and lead flow, so that you can get whatever results they said they wanted to get in the appointment setting call." Right? They respond. We say, "Yeah. So when you went through the ad or the post, or whenever you received their email, what was it that you saw that caused you to want to look into this further?" They respond, and then, "Yeah, makes sense." Now, this call is pretty basic. It's really more for us to find out about what you're using right now, what results you're getting, compared to what you're wanting, to see what that gap looks like. And towards the end of the call, if you feel like it might be what you're looking for, we can talk about possible next steps. Would that help you? This is straight up taken from Jeremy Miners, so definitely recommend looking into him. And then they respond and we say, "Perfect. And what are you hoping to get out of the call with us today?" Just so we can have a better understanding and be on the same page. That was the connection stage. Then we go into the engagement stage. So we started with a little bit of situation awareness. So always we want to use neutral bridging, like "got it, makes sense, walk me through that." Whenever we go through these questions, we're not going to go through all of these questions, of course, because otherwise it would be like an interview, but some of them. And that's down to the closer and the exact prospect to understand which questions you want to ask at which specific time. Obviously, at the end of the day, that is the art of scales. That is the sales. That is the difference between a decent closer and a great closer. You are going to have a better understanding and knowledge on what question to use at what time with what tone. That's really all it is. So questions, for example, walk me through what you're doing right now for Go. How long have you been doing it that way? What caused you to go that route instead of, "Oh, okay, yeah, I got you." And what's the average cost of projects? How many leads are you getting per average per month? That's included referrals. Got it. And how many jobs are you closing from those? Only that much? With a surprise tone. How many closes do you feel like you could have gotten if you had an extra amount of leads per month? Okay, so whatever the amount they say, and then we for example here, "Okay, so 10." Then you don't say anything, and it will be like, yeah, 10, because I think this is it. And so they will give you more information on why that number is important to them. And your profit on that, for example, here. So what's the math on that? Do you have your phone? And we asked instead of a calculator. So if you're losing on an average of X amount per month and an average of $6,000 per project, what's the math on that? So by definition, you're losing so much per month in potential revenue you should be making if you just had better lead generation. Do you want to change that? Questions like that, these are solution aware questions, and problem aware. So once they're aware of the problem, okay, so like with lead generation strategies you have in place right now, do you like it? Besides, this thing, do you actually like the process? If so, if yes, oh, interesting. What do you like about it? If no, it can't be all bad if you've been doing it. What do you like about it? So, and after the answer, we might say something like, "Okay, it doesn't sound terrible then, but if you could change something about the process, what would you change?" We kind of want them to understand and pretty much state out loud, after they understand that there is a problem, what the problem is and what the solution might be. So we're not trying to say, "Okay, you have this problem, here's what we do." It's more like we're gonna have them say to us what problem they have, and when we present our offer, we're gonna say it in their words, so they can't even complain about it. They can't say anything about it. We're literally telling them, we're giving them what they say they want, and they arrive to that solution. They arrive to that aha moment of, "Oh, this is what I need." So then it's a much easier close. Then we go into probing questions. So you don't sound so sure about it. What don't you like? Okay, well, let's do this just so I can see the rationale behind why you might be looking for what else you want. But besides this reason and this reason, what's the main reason you might want to be looking for a better source? So all we're doing here is we're trying to go deeper. We just haven't gotten enough, and that we didn't create enough pain in the prospect that we think is enough for them to move forward today or move up with a solution like ours. So we need to go into these probing questions to go deeper. Okay, and clarifying questions, and this is especially when they're vague. So, "Oh yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand. When you said these, could you could you expand that for me? So stuff like that, very important to get into more pain. Okay. Then we go into solution awareness. So what did you do in the past to change your situation? And I mean, just a little curiosity before we started talking today. Were you out there looking for better lead generation strategies so that you can, whatever they said they want, whatever their final goal is? If no, we go into, oh, really, what's prevented you from doing that in the past? So what's changed now then? Let's do this just to make sure that what we're doing could actually help you, right? Besides benefit one and benefit two, what would you actually be looking for in a lead generation company? And we have them tell us what solution they want. We start talking about the solution. Yeah, expand a little bit on that. Like, what would be your ideal criteria? Can I ask why that's important to you? Like now, though, is there anything else you want? If yes, oh yeah, what did you do? Or how did it work out? If they tried anything in the past, right? So if they reply yes to whatever they're trying or what you're looking for, anything specifically, okay? So what kind of results did you get from it? What do you think held you back from having success? Questions like that. Then we continue. All right, well, besides what they said they already wanted, how do you see these benefiting those most though? Yeah, I gotcha. So, I mean, what would it do to you personally though? How it would be different, you being able to do whatever they want to have in their business? How would your life or business maybe be different than it is now? How would that make you feel though? How do you see the benefits of actually like solving these problem that they told us in the problem awareness area? Okay, so we go back to things that they said already. And then we go into, let me go into the consequences questions. So, I gotcha. And I mean, like, honestly though, what if you don't do anything about your lead generation and your situation gets even worse? So what we're trying to do here is we created this big gap between, we had them tell them what the problems are, we had them talk about a solution, we really made them asking all these questions and going deeper, made them very aware and top of mind of what the pain is, what the problem is, and there is a lot of pain. We created this gap. Okay, and now we want to make this gap even bigger by asking what would be the consequences if you don't do anything about this. We want the gap between where they are now and where they have to be. Like they have to be. Because there's so much pain right now, and on the other side, there's so much pleasure of solving all these problems and getting the solution. So we want to increase that gap now with consequences questions, and that's going to be the last thing before we transition into showing our solution, which guess what is going to be very along the lines of what they said they want, and it's going to have nothing of the things that they said they don't want. So what if you don't know anything about your lead generation and your situation gets even worse? Yeah, so do you want to have to keep chasing after jobs and wondering where the next ones are coming in if you didn't have to? So this is also probably something that, we're going to get back to something that they told us already. So maybe they told us, yeah, I'm tired of always chasing jobs. Boom, put a line like that. So we're going to ask a few questions like that. You can read these also later on your own time. And if it sounds confusing right now, it sounds like I'm throwing a lot of shit at you. Well, you're going to see the live sales call, and that's going to make much more sense when all of this is put into context. So transition, based on what you told me, what we are doing would actually work for you, in my opinion. So with your permission, I can go over a few things that we would be able to do for you to help you with situation and solve problem, or repeat the actual problem that they have. Would that help you? And if they say yes, okay, so one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is they don't know how, or don't understand how, or are having issues with, boom, literally what they told us. They don't know how to do, or the problem that they have, the biggest problem that they have, the biggest challenge that we discovered earlier in the problem awareness, okay, where we try to understand what problem they actually have, what's holding them back and giving them the most pain. So we tell them, we actually help people who have the same problem. And when I myself put it into copywriting words, we're literally telling them the emotion we're giving them is the emotion of predictable and anybody. We work with other people like you. Anybody can do this. This can work for anybody. This can work for you. It's predictable. We've already done it before. So if you go ahead and read the copywriting book I told you, Take Their Money, you will see that out of the things that we ask here, and the psychology behind it is the same. Copywriting is just sales in words. Which causes them to consequences. We already talked about the consequences once we asked them the consequences questions. So they told us those consequences, and we repeat them back to them. So the way we solve that for our clients like you is, and boom, here we go over our product. You'll see how we do that in the sales call. But it's fairly simple, and we also then help by showing a sheet, a Google sheet that calculates how much money they can actually, I want to return they can actually expect from this investment. So we usually explain a little bit of the lead generation process and then what ROI they can expect on the sheet. I always recommend having a calculator or something of that sort on the sales call. And after that, and after we explain that, we'd say, and what that means to you is, and we repeat back the benefits and the advantages that it will do for them once it's solved. All the things that they said they want in their dream solution earlier. And finally, we go into the commitment stage. So here's pretty much, they say, yeah, everything looks good. They don't have any questions. They don't have any objections. And then we go pretty much into the price. So we pretty much covered how we would help you go from, and we repeat again, the outcome they wanted, okay, help you get to the outcome they want. So before we go into the funds needed to actually get there, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? And here's where usually objections come up. And if they come up, you're going to have to kill them. I don't have something specifically for all the objections. That's just so much work on the end of the sales rep to create those objections. And honestly, we do not want to give out on YouTube right now all the objections that we use, because we just feel like it would be a little bit too much, maybe for people who are inside, who work with us a little closely. It's not like we work with them, but anybody who's maybe part of my Go High level, we can help them out with that. But right now, I don't have that in this video. We might make more videos on that in the future. So, and then we say, okay, so write this down. After we killed all the objections, okay, so here in the middle, there's going to be objections. And sometimes you're going to get no objections, okay? Just so you know. So, okay, so write this down. The funds you will need for us, the funds you will need for us to come in and set everything up and solve this problem that they say you have to get you XYZ results that they say they want would be setup fee. And then $70 to $80, $70 to $80 per real lead. Any questions on how that works? Some people will say yes, more objections. Some people will say no. If they say no, we say, okay, so really the next would be for me to send you the payment link. You get it covered while we're on the call, and then we can review the contract together. Simple as that. So we had them to pay on the call, send them the contract, everything's done. And now that we've went through this, you can watch it one more time if you want, but I think the best thing you can do is now watch the live sales call. Let's get into it.
Mateo. Yeah, I got you,
Hey.
sir.
Awesome. Here we go. So yeah, sounds good. Did you get a chance? Because I don't want to repeat my things. You know, maybe you've already heard it so many times. Did you already see the videos I sent you, maybe via email? Just making sure that I don't repeat myself twice. Have you already seen anything that I've sent you over
Yes.
the past day? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Everything sounds good?
Well, I'd like to hear more, more details from you about everything, of course.
Of course. Yeah, that's what we're here for, right? So before I get into that, I'll just say the goal for me in this call is really to kind of see where you're at right now and kind of what you want to do. Because I'm not going to try to sell you or offer you something that you don't want to do. Because you
All
know
right.
what you want, and you know and I want to kind of figure out what you need. So I think what I want to do is ask you just a couple of questions to understand where you're at right now compared to where you want to go. Because if you're here, I suppose you're looking for something. And
Yeah,
so yeah, so I guess, the fastest way to get to that is sort of, what are you looking for? If you could just put it together like that.
As simple as this, I need more deck leads. I have a incorporation and S corp, and within that incorporation, I have a masonry side, and we do hardscapes, and I have a deck side, and then I'm getting ready to start an HVAC side.
Okay.
Well, the decking is brand new. I'm sorry, let me turn this off. Put this on do not disturb. But my decking is on my website, but it's not. We're not getting any calls about it because it's so new. We just started a few months ago.
Okay. I understand.
So yeah, my basic need right now, I have masonry leads coming out the wazoo from organic, just because we've been in business for a decade.
Yeah.
And we have a good reputation, but the decking is so new that people aren't really aware that we're doing it, and I'm not getting any kind of traction online from our services for that.
Okay. So have you tried anything but organic for the hardscape side of things, or has it always been organic?
On the hardscape, I paid for advertising in many different forms all the way up through 2020. And then
Okay.
earlier this year, maybe the end of last year, I let a company use AI to create a blog on my website, and then they were creating not blog, but they were creating posts for social
For the
media as
SEO?
well. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, not for my SEO so much. They were, well, yes, to increase it, to optimize it, of course, but
Yeah.
just the posts for the AI created posts for social media were terrible. I mean, everybody was calling me, telling me they were like, "You need to take that down. It doesn't even look right. You know, it's nothing like what you've been posting. Like some of the stuff didn't even have any hardscape pictures in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a
Yeah.
picture of like a Fender guitar and talking about quality. You know, it wasn't relevant. It didn't help me. I paid for an entire year in advance for all that and
Whoa.
shut it all down after about a week. So
That's insane.
that was, yeah, that was a complete waste. So um, that didn't work. But I truly, unless I was wanting to dramatically expand the size of my masonry hardscape division, I don't need to advertise because we stay covered up. We from 2020 we've been booked out for a year and a half on that.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
but
awesome.
the decks are scaring me because we did have 4 deck contracts and we ran through all of them. We're on the very last deck right now. We do not even have a single estimate out there for decks at the time. So we have, like, my deck guys are going to be out of work here in another couple of weeks with no more leads. So that's really what I need. It's more exposure on the deck side for my company.
Okay. I understand. I understand. And is there any reason why you even went into Dex? Like,
Sure. The easiest response to that is after doing the hardscaping for 10 years, and I go do an estimate. I found this out. I started this process last fall. I do roughly 20-25 estimates a week, and I'd say 50% of the clients that I do estimates for, in conjunction with doing their hardscapes, which is like a big portion of their yard, there'll be a part of that hardscape project that they want to add a deck to, stairs, some deck, Trex especially. And I would have to then sub that out or find someone that could do it for them because we weren't licensed to do it. And so my desire was to get in front of a client. But if I'm already in front of a client, why not just go ahead and capture all of the potential revenue?
yeah.
And so we branched out, and it's been working great because I've got, separate crews running on different sides of town, and then they come together if we have a joint job. But I'm not getting any traction whatsoever from my website with decks.
I understand. I understand. No, it's all very clear to me, and I'm happy you're that straightforward and you know what you want because it's gonna be easy for me to just give you what you want, right?
Good.
So,
Perfect.
so I like that. I just have a couple more questions because it sounds like not many people have multiple divisions, and it doesn't sound like the way you set up your company right now. You're the guy going out and doing the work, right? You have the crews, so you're already pretty set up and ready for scale, which I like. So my question is sort of on the sales side of things. Are you the guy that takes care of it? You have sales reps, or can you maybe walk me through a little bit the sales process?
So the sale process is 100% me. I Generally what happens is I get a lot of calls, emails, the contacts throughout the day. I set my own appointments up. I go from appointment, and then I'm the one selling the job, dealing with the clients in front of the clients. And then after I get that process done, I'll ship everything in, and then my guys come in and take care of the job. But I don't have any estimators. I have no support personnel. I have an accountant that handles my books, but everything else is done by me. Um, I don't. I could pay somebody else to be like an admin for me or something, but I'd rather just be hands on and handle it myself.
For sure. I understand. I understand. Okay. That's very clear. That's very clear. So when it comes to Dex specifically, right? When we talk about leads, there's always a price that comes in mind. So I know I can offer you good price per leads. The question is, what do you think right now is a fair price for full deck, right? So if you were to say, if you were to decide the cost per lead that you want, like the ideal cost per lead that you can choose for a full deck, what do you think is a fair price for that? If these leads are responsive and they actually want a deck.
So if I go under contract, I think 5% of total is fair.
Yes, that's in case that's not really a cost per lead, that's a cost per close.
Right.
So if we were to talk about cost per sending you people who actually want a deck, but you need to do the sales process.
Right. Well, that's the exact same model that I started. When I started my business a decade ago, I was heavily involved in Home Advisor. Home Advisor, I hate Home Advisor, but I'm honest. I mean, and now they're Angie's List. I don't like the way they do things. They, their leads, they would send me a base price of $75 per lead. Now, I might get there and the person's just fishing, or it might be another contractor, or I mean, it could be a job that's $100 job, and I'm paying $75 to them. So I thought that was way too high.
Yeah.
Um, I honestly prefer. I don't know. I like working. I've worked in the past with a digital marketing agent that would send me leads. And the deal that we had brokered was that he gets 5% of the total contract on closed deals. I feel that's 100% fair. Now I cut him big checks. I just got done cutting him an $850 check for a deck. I think that's fair compensation because it does also filter out some of the BS leads. Because like with Home Advisor, if you got somebody online, the process they start in construction is they call a bunch of people and they try to get pricing so they get an idea of what they want to budget to then build with. The problem that you run into is if you're paying for leads, is that person might be fishing. I pay you for the lead. I go out there. They might not ever do the project. They might, decide it's too expensive. They might, do anything, go with somebody else, et cetera, et cetera. So I completely disbanded Home Advisor in 2020, 2019 because I got so sick of them charging me an exorbitant amount for every single lead. And they were crap leads to begin with.
Yeah. No, I understand. But if I can make a suggestion there, the problem is not the pay per lead model, is Home Advisor. So
Yeah.
there's great leads out there. You just gotta find them, have the right marketing to do it. And the main problem with all of that system that they have is they're huge. I mean, they're making over $100 million a year. Not like, I think $200 million a year. So they're huge. When you're at that level, you run out of contractors that you can do exclusive leads for. That is
Right.
where the problem is. It's not the leads are good, but they share them with multiple contractors. And
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
because when you're scaling at that level, that's what you gotta do. Right. I mean, if I wanted to run a $200 million a year company, that's what you gotta do. You gotta,
Yeah.
That's just a straight up that you gotta do.
And
right?
you're absolutely right. And that's one of the things that made me mad was charging. They get a lead in for a wall, and if they charge $75, they send that one lead to 15 contractors. They just
make
made
75 on each.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
And
insane.
then,
I know it's a crazy model, right? It's insane.
yeah.
It's insane.
And I would be going to leads, and I would like be passing a contractor coming out and another one coming in after me.
No, I can't believe that.
Yeah, and so I hate them, and I hate Home Advisor, and I think I just don't like the way they handle anything. But
So my process is different. We still would do pay per lead, and I'll tell you why I would do that instead of a pay per commission at first. Note this part at first. Okay, why I would do that? Because the leads that we get are exclusive. So because we're not a huge company and I have thousands and thousands of contractors, only dozens for now, I can afford to do that and only give exclusive leads. Okay, so you will never have the problem again. Second thing, I will ask for less than they were asking you, and only for full decks, not for repairs. Okay, so you like the 3 problems that you mentioned, they're already gone because I don't do any of that.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. So when you say I don't pay per lead, let's say, right? At the end of the day, you need to pay something to get the leads. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either decide. This is something I went through because over the past months we changed. We went through many people who wanted different things, and what I'm offering you is what came out to be the best plan. Because we started with asking people $4,000 up front, and we run your marketing and we guarantee you X amount of leads. Then we said, we charge you less upfront, but you pay the ad spend, and then you pay as a percentage after the close. And then now we're at a point where it's like you just pay us a little bit upfront to cover our costs to set up, and then you just pay us after we deliver the leads, only if they're real responsive leads. Okay, And this is the model that gets you the lowest risk upfront, allows us to still give you the quality. And at the end of the day, these models, when you're looking for marketing, it's all the same thing. You're paying for lead. You're paying for people interested in DEX. It's all the
Absolutely.
same. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how they word it. Pay per estimate, pay per lead, pay per, it's all like that. So that's what I can do for you today, and I'll show you exactly the numbers. We'll break them down. Now, what I will say to the paper percentage, that is my goal, man. I want to have, yes, my clients on the paper lead, they're great, but I want to have my 10 to 15 winners up there who have multiple divisions and want to scale maybe nationwide, and where I take a percentage of the business. That is
Right.
where I'm in for. That's what I'm in for. But the reason I don't do it, to be completely transparent at first, is because I need to charge for what I can control. You look like a guy who closes 100% of the jobs, but I don't know. I might still do my job and pay my guys, and then for some reason that I don't know, you don't close. Maybe you're sick that day and you're not closing. Well, I cannot unpredictably scale my business on guess, right? I cannot guess that you're going to close at first. So that's why I'm saying, let's work together for a few weeks, a month, whatever. We see that you're closing consistently, and trust me, you're not gonna want to switch to performance because you're gonna have to pay us more. So that's gonna be the problem. That's gonna be the problem. That's
All
gonna
right.
be the only problem in there. Okay.
All right. All right.
So that's sort of the way I see it, and I think it makes sense.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I understand that. I agree with it.
Awesome. But just so you know, I'm not against the percentage. So if in 2 weeks you get our leads and you tell me, hey man, let's switch to percentage, and you're closing, I'm down for it.
Okay. Okay.
So just wanted to mention that. Now let's talk numbers. Pay per lead for DEX, I can get them to you full DEX installations only, and they need to be moving forward within the next 90 days. So they're not window shoppers. They want to move forward in the next 90 days. Responsive, so within 3 days, they need to respond to your messages and calls, or you get refunded for them.
Okay.
And so those kind of leads, and we also can budget qualify them if you want. So we ask them already sort of what they're expecting to spend.
Right.
We can do that. $60 cost per lead, and they're exclusive.
No other debt contractor is going to get that sent in this.
No,
In this.
I don't even have anyone else. You're in Tennessee, right?
No. I'm in Roanoke, Virginia.
Virginia. Who did I find here? So Henry, I don't have anyone in Virginia either.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Who is this Henry Hardscape?
That's me.
And excavation.
Oh no. My company's name is Professional Hardscapes LLC.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Because I found another one, and that was in Tennessee, and I'm like, I don't have anyone in Tennessee for sure. Right.
Yeah.
So the first two that came out were yours, and then the second one. Okay, cool. But yeah, so you're in Virginia. I don't have anyone that does DEX in Virginia. I have a guy who does fences. So if you were to tell me let's do fences, I can't do it, but
Gotcha.
I can do DEX. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and last thing you need to keep in mind, the upfront fee, because I need to pay. I mean, I need to set all of it up, and I have nothing upfront. So it's $800 upfront. That's all the risk you're taking, and after that, I send you the first leads.
Now the $800, is that something I pay every year?
No, you just pay it one time, and that's it.
And then when do my leads start coming in?
Thursday, Friday.
That quick. This week.
Yeah, I mean this week, or worst case Monday, I guess. Just enough time to get my guys to work on the ads and get them launched. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what your guys are going to do in the background to generate the leads.
Yes. So we start by creating your ads. So I want to show an example of an ad for DEX that we actually ran. This was in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Superior, Wisconsin. All right. So let me get to the ad. So we start by creating an ad that sends then people to a landing page. So the ad is not a picture, is not what a lot of guys run. It's not what Angie runs or House runs. You know that it's public information what ads they run? I can see what ads they're running right now. They're shitty ads. Picture saying, see what a deck costs right now. What type of people do you think ad attracts? It's a picture. Like, what are you expecting to attract? Shit leads. They're cheap, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
You know, it's public information. Like,
Yes.
you're not even that smart, right?
Yep.
So let me get back to, let me find this. Where is, okay, here it is. Add creative. So this one specifically was for deck, porches, and patios, but you only do decks, so you don't have to worry about the second two. Or
Alright.
at least I'm gonna focus on decks for you.
Okay, yeah.
So these was the best performing ad. So
Now, did you guys build the video and everything?
of course,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm impressed. Okay, I'm really impressed.
I mean, that's what I get paid for, right? That's what
Yeah.
the slot fee is for. And then these, just to give an idea, this client specifically, he paid us $450, and he closed at $31,000 deck, $9,000 profit. You want to call him right now? I'll give you his number.
No, no, I believe you. I believe you.
No, I'm telling you because it's just insane. This ad did this, and now how do we qualify these people? Why can I say these leads are qualified? Okay, because they go through a specific qualification process. So let me show you what one of our deck landing pages look like. This is another guy. This guy's in Ohio, Cleveland. So let me show you his landing page, which is only for decks. So this other one was for decks, porches, patios, so it's a bit different. I want to show you one just for decks.
Okay.
So here it is. All right. So on the phone, it looks better. It's for the phone, right? It's meant to be only on the phone, but we're on the computer here. So fill out this quick survey and get 10% off your new deck today. What type of deck do you have in mind? So we start by asking them what they want. If you also do pool decks, if it's popular in your area, we can do some pool decks, add them here.
Yeah, we do.
Then when would you like the new deck to be installed? If they put just exploring for now, they are disqualified, so you won't add them. So you won't pay.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't handle it. I hate going to estimates like that, man.
Yeah, that's why I told you it's guaranteed that they won't move forward in the next 90 days.
Okay.
Then most of our decks fall into one of these ranges, which sounds close to what you're expecting to invest. Now, this changes in your area. For this client, that was pretty accurate for his area. If you tell me you want to start with under 15,000 and then go up, we work that stuff out in the onboarding call.
Got you.
What's the best way to reach you with your estimate? So full name and phone. And to go to the next one, I need to complete this, but it's going to be their street address. So you're going to have all of this information when it's going to be sent to you. So let me show you an example of when I send you the leads, what those are going to look like. So let me get to another sub account. So this is the same guy in what is it called? In Wisconsin, and now we started running an ad for sheetrock and drywall. So these are the, what am I sharing? Okay, so this is the message I'm gonna send you. Hey Henry, a new lead just came in. Here's the full details: name, phone number, address, job type, job details, and for you, I'm gonna add urgency, budget, and that's it.
Awesome. Awesome.
So every day you're gonna get. Here's another question: like, I can send you as many as you want. That's the thing. Like, I build a system that's predictable, and I can send you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a day. Like, you tell me how many do you want?
Okay. Okay. And where are the ads running at that you're creating?
Your service area. So as soon as we close this call and we get everything sorted out, I'm gonna send you a form where I need the exact zip codes you want to get people from. Because I know there's, some, the Boulder zip codes, the good ones. So that's the way around them. Yes.
Okay. And but are they running on like
Facebook and Instagram? They're Meta.
Okay, so they're on Meta. Okay. And there's no other charges for me to run the ads.
Not that I know of.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
No, it's $800 for us. Then we put the money up front in the ads. And you just start getting leads in the first day, because as you've seen in the video, like in the message, the video, we know what we're doing.
I'm
other clients, we have also other packet. We've stopped really doing that, where that's why I asked about your sales process, where we book the calls in for them. So we call them with the AI and so on, and we book them in. For example, this guy, he's just getting packed. So not only is he's paying us per lead, but then we also pay us every time we book these calls for him. So last month he had about 45 estimates. Can you see it?
Yep. That's a lot.
So these all came from us, and he's like, yeah, I mean, now we we had to make some changes because it's like I'm getting too many, so give me less, but they have more budget. So we
Oh yeah.
so we made some changes, and that's something we can do with everyone. It's just, you know, the more qualification you want, the higher the cost per lead is going to be, because that's what it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mattia, say no more. I am 100% in. Tell me where. Send me the form to fill out. Tell me where to pay the $800. Let's do this.
Let me do that now, man. No, I'm excited to get you started. Like as soon as you, like, it also sounding from, you know, sounds from your experience how bad it was, or, you know, the things you said, like paying for an year in advance for some AI content.
Yep. And
That
it was
is-
absolute shit. I
What
mean,
did you
just
pay- what did you pay
shit.
for that? Just out of curiosity, because
What I
I'm
pay for that? It was for the blog. The blog was something like 700, and then the social media was something around 5 or 6. But they're all AI generated. You know, they're not.
they're
They're
not. They
just
didn't even do work. Our ad at least
no.
is work. You know, it's like
Exactly. Like they simply was just spitting out junk, and it was just filling up. The blog helped me a little bit because it put some keywords into my website for SEO a little bit.
Yeah.
But the social media I think hurt me because like I have a well, I have a
That's
social
insane.
so yeah, I have a social media following who likes to see my projects and like the work that we do. And then they started seeing all this bullshit, like because they posted like every day, right?
That
Because
is
it's AI, so they're going to post every day or every 3 days or whatever. And every post was just horrendous. I mean, it was not. Yeah, it was. I'll even tell you the name of them. They were.
I'm not even gonna look them up, man. It's like
Oh,
it
okay.
sounds like junk.
It
But
was. But I mean, they
how
came.
long ago was this as well?
How long ago?
Yeah.
It was beginning of this year, I believe, like maybe just January, because I shut it off really quickly. I only ran it for about a month and then turned it all off because it was terrible. But it was, uh, damn, it was something SEO,
Oh, for sure.
AI SEO or something like that. It was a big firm. They just, I don't know, it just didn't work. Yeah, it was a big firm. They just didn't work for me. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is having success with it, but it just
It's I think pretty objective how the posts look. If if everybody is telling you if everybody's telling you that the content is bad,
yeah.
like
And they were. My wife was like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "I started this AI thing to advertise for me." She goes, "Turn it off." I said, "Okay."
that's insane.
So yeah, I shut all that down, and then I'm not using the. And then the other part was it actually started to ding me a little bit on Google because you know Google has the AI detectors,
Yeah.
and they were seeing that the blogs were completely AI built. So I was
Oh, yeah.
falling down in ranking.
Yeah.
And then I had my web wizard step back in and fix my website to bring me back up. So it's a fiasco. I'll never do that again. So
Yeah. So good, man. I'll send you the payment link via text. Check
all
that
right.
out because I want to make sure it goes through. Sometimes with our payment processor, it doesn't. So I don't know if you got time to take a look at it now.
So I don't. You sent it to me via text?
I don't know if you got your phone or if you want it via email. I can do it.
No, I've got my phone on me and my and email, but I don't have.
I sent it to Harry.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah, so that's my personal company number, so you can save me there. And my business partner has access to that number as well. His name is Noah, so you probably meet him in the onboarding call.
Okay.
And so just so you know, we are both there. Sometimes he'll call you, sometimes I'll call you to or whatever. And okay, that's good. That's good. Then yeah, I mean.
So as soon as we get off the call, I'm gonna fill this information out and send this in to pay for it.
Yes.
Then what else do you need out of me?
Next step, I'm gonna send you the onboarding form. Okay.
All right.
I just need the 5 minutes because I need to call someone else, and then I'm gonna send you the onboarding form. On that, actually, in the meantime, what you can do is take a look at maybe help yourself with ChatGPT. I don't know what you need, but for the zip codes, I need an accurate it needs to be pretty big as a service area because otherwise, if the cost to get this lead is going to be higher. So we need a pretty wide service area with all the accurate residential zip codes. I usually help with ChatGPT with that, and then that's pretty much it. Then that's literally it. And on I mean, tomorrow or something, I can already send you probably. As soon as I have all of these things, I can send stuff over to get done. So the sooner I have that, it's not unrealistic that on Thursday you get the first lead. It's not unrealistic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's not unrealistic, but I'm not promising.
All right, I
So-
got you.
That's how it is. And what I'm gonna do after that as well, I want to put everything that we said here on writing, in writing. So I can show you literally what it looks. It just says, this is what a qualified lead looks like. It's gonna have these. It's gonna be delivered to this phone number, and the client only pays this much, and it's never gonna be charged anything else. So we want to make sure those things are in writing, because as you said, you don't want to be charged every year or things like that. And I mean, it doesn't get much more smooth than that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You're an excellent salesman. You're an excellent at what you do, and I'm usually really hard with stuff like this. So, I like the way you have it set up. I was very impressed with everything, and I can't wait to see everything moving forward. And I look forward to a long-term relationship. And then, I'm not kidding, Mattia, that from day one, my goal has been massive expansion or franchising. And the only thing that's been a hindrance to that was the pandemic. Like, I was on the cusp of starting the franchise process. I was going to have another location set up in Tampa Bay. I was going to move another one up to Northern Virginia. I had the people and everything when the pandemic hit, and it just blew all that. So I'm trying to build back now. I still want to do that, and I still want to be nationwide.
That's good. That's what I want to know. That's what I wanted to hear, right? Because I'm not looking for, because it takes me the same amount of time and effort to, do it for one small fish and do it for the big fish.
Right,
And for me, I want to do it for the big one, right? That's how it works. You want to do a $1 million deck. You don't want to do a $330,000 deck.
Right.
So
right. And
I'm
I'm hell bent on doing that. My background is I do have construction knowledge, but I also have a master's degree in business administration. I was a controller for two multi-billion-dollar companies before I started my construction company.
really.
So I am really more business oriented than construction. I just got into this line of work because I realized if you run a construction company right and handle the financials, you can get really rich.
Oh yeah.
Because the profit margins are insane. And the profit margins on decks are really even bigger than my masonry side. So that's kind of why I went more towards the deck arena than the masonry side that we've been doing for 10 years. But I'd like to make you rich too. And by doing that, if you help me expand and get more leads, and I hire more people, we take on more and more jobs, then the first thing I'm going to do is say, Mattia, I need you to do the same thing for me in Florida. I need you to do the same thing for me in Maryland.
That's what I'm waiting for, man. So just so you know, I'm not in it for the 800. Like, that doesn't make me any profit almost.
I understand. Yeah.
Like, I'm not
You're
in
not
it for
going to
that.
get
Like,
rich off of that. I get
yeah,
that.
and you know that, and you can see,
Yeah.
the way I operate. You've seen my marketing, you've seen my video, I don't know if you've seen my YouTube or whatever, but you know how I operate, and that's how I do it. Like, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm happy that you hopped on this call, took the time to hop here and give us a chance, because I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, I have full faith. I have full faith in you. I truly do.
Appreciate
I think
it.
you struck me as a go-getter that's ready to do this, and you're hungry, and that's that's all it takes. That and some discipline, which you got as well. So I think this would be a great relationship, and we both could make each other a lot of money.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. I'll send you everything over now. I got you the payment link already. As soon as I see that going through, I'll send you the onboarding and everything else. And yeah, man, get ready for some leads, all right?
Sounds great, brother. I'll talk to you
Awesome.
soon.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye,
All right,
everyone.
bye-bye.
Bye.